Not just moves, but the playing you hard. Pawns to queens, yeah, the stakes are high. Think 10 steps ahead or watch time fly. It's chestnut checkers, every move's a test. Strategy and patience bring out your best. No quick flips, no easy wins. The game is deep, let the match begin. Kings and castles, they don't play fair. Nice sleep through problems like they don't care. The bishop cuts shot through the mess you make. One wrong move and it's checkmate. So sit down, plan it, don't let it wreck ya. Welcome to the game, this ain't checkers, it's chestnut checkers. Sharpen your mind. Let's dive deep, one move at a time.
Hey y'all, hey. It's Chestnut Checkers Wednesday.
Happy Wednesday.
Giggle Fit. Hey, beautiful. Thank you very much. That looks gorgeous.
I couldn't hear the music.
Oh, you're fine. I love you. It's okay, baby. Thank you, baby. So my daughter just came in.
I looked like I was caught stealing cookies. I'm like,
Can y'all see this?
Yeah,
So,
man.
fried chicken and kale was the dinner of the evening.
I'm proud of her.
Yeah, my
I'm proud of
daughter
her.
chefed up something real.
Listen,
Look, and
we
right.
I said
are
Chef Twin, so I'm talking
we
about
are
it.
chestnut checkers, y'all. We are here on a Wednesday, and
Every
I'm
Wednesday.
excited. I'm
Yeah,
excited every Wednesday. You know, we take our breaks. I mean, even God deserves rest, so the least He can do is give us some too. So we took our break and we had our first week back last week. We are Chestnut Checkers. I am your host and co-host, William Alexander, the fixer. We have the finder to my. Did they fix it yet? Are you still
to your
muted? Are
left.
you over here?
To your left.
So you're this way?
Yeah,
Gotcha. All
yeah.
right. So we have over here, we have the finder, ladies and gentlemen, and she is we gonna get into it. She's dynamic. She's like such a dope individual. We have Kristen Wilson in the building, and
Thank
we
you.
have what I'd like to say. And she likes to say she's a talker and she's like the spokesperson. But I like to say, although it's not the letter F, it is a PH that sounds like F. She is a philosopher in her own right and regard. We have the fairy, ladies and gentlemen, lovely Lavania Wilson,
No.
and we are outside.
Oh yeah. Eventually, look.
Eventually.
Hey man, she doesn't. She got wings. Y'all just don't see them yet. So what I will say is that we gonna get it. We gonna get into it. We got our what are those things called? The
Current
current
event.
events of other people that stuff be happening. But I'm gonna keep it a bug. We got stuff happening with us too.
Mm-hmm.
So with
Mm-hmm.
that said, we got stuff going on. We had some tragic losses that were going on. We've had some unfortunate events going on. We've had some revelations to things that have happened while we were away that have happened. But we're going to uniquely separate what we have seen throughout the news and a lot of the um, fear mongering,
Word.
and we're
Right.
going
I
to
like that.
we're gonna take a time so that you can kind of see what we are, who we are, and what we're all about, and why we exist here, and why there's so many people that continually, although they be acting like they don't be watching, but they see our clips and they be asking us questions. We're
Mm.
going to introduce you to us, and we're going to go as deep as each individual will choose to allow themselves to go. There's no gun to nobody's head. You have a right to remain silent. Look, it's your God given right, but
And
we're going
everything
to
you
talk
say
about who
can
we
and will
are.
not be used against you here.
Right. We're going to talk about who we are, what we do. You might see me interject because I am outside. I am, in my world, the world that you see around me. I'm, an uncle to some, a advocate to others. I'm a father. So when you hear me like interject, I'll do my best to mute. But this is part of who I am, and I hide in this door. But in a sense, you might see me interject myself. So charge it to my head, not my heart. I'm going to do my best. I didn't go to school for journalism. So with that being said, anything crazy happen?
You being outside.
Right. What you
So
doing
there's
outside?
that.
Either so let's talk
How's
about
the
it.
weather, man?
Either
Yeah,
a tree fell or a squirrel ate through my internet line.
both.
Oh, that's
And
fun. Hmm.
I
The
wake up
tree,
one
the
day
tree
and I'm
fell,
like, you
dropped
know
off
what?
a squirrel that ate the internet line. That's what
I,
happened.
you know, I think it should be in the third testament of the Bible. You have no idea, like the life that you get disconnected from.
I promise you, I almost spit all of that wine out on the
I'm
computer.
telling
That
you,
was gonna
I thought
end
it was
the
gonna fly, baby. I thought it was gonna
episode.
fly. Right?
And I mean, stuff happens, but we want to thank you very much for being on the porch with us and doing what's what. There's
Yeah.
absolutely no way that I will be outside right now. It's like 100
Ah.
degrees outside.
Oh, it's a
It's
beautiful
so
breeze.
hot.
I wish
No,
y'all could hear it.
there's no breeze. Trees still in a motherfucker.
You said it sounds like a Miss homework assignment.
Kinda.
Oh, right, your squirrel.
The
Yeah.
squirrel ate the
So
thing.
I woke up this morning, right? And I'm usually up super early. And I have my little like my vibrational music on and the tones going. And it's like do. You know how you do it? I do it every morning, right? And
Mm-hmm.
that joker stopped. And I said, nah, you wait a goddamn minute. And I checked my bank account and I was like, okay, payment came out.
Mm-hmm.
Let me deal with them at seven. You know, they open at 7 o'clock. I'm gonna deal with them right early at 7 o'clock. So then, they sent an alert saying that, hey, there's been a reported outage in the Western District of Philadelphia. So I'm like, oh, they said it happened to do with natural causes. So I'm like, either it's somebody that ate through the line or a tree fell.
Both. Both of them.
I hope
Well,
it got shocked.
while we're talking about outages, though, I'd like to use your personal situation as a segue to what's going on in Indiana. Have y'all heard?
Hmm. Yes, I know some people who live there who have
My
Right.
been
power's
without
out. I don't
power.
know.
Yeah.
Correct. So Gary, Indiana, the city where Michael Jackson is from, um, has been out of power for 8 days. And
Yeah.
they are currently being reported by their power company to possibly be looking forward to at least another 4 days.
Hmm.
Mm.
There was a storm that was like 8 states wide last week that basically sent down so many tornadoes in the Indiana area,
Wow.
that many
Mm.
cities are still without power. There was originally, when the storm happened, was, I believe it was last Wednesday or last Thursday.
Mm. Mm.
By Friday, people were online talking about how they couldn't even get gas because the electricity
Hmm.
outage was so deep into the grid that the gas
Mm.
pumps don't work. So they couldn't even evacuate. They are stuck in wherever they are. If
Right.
their home was flooded, they don't have anywhere to go that has power or anything like that. So those people are basically having to come together to survive right now, and there's no new news coverage whatsoever. Hey, mommy.
That's crazy.
It is, and yet this is seems to be the American standard for emergency relief when it comes to storms and things
Yeah.
that we think
I
they,
mean,
but they.
I
we
always
had the
feel like it
smell of
depends on
smoke.
where it is.
Our our carbon emission when it came to the smoke from Canada,
Hmm.
they were talking about it was if you stayed outside for 10 minutes, it was like equivalent to two packs of cigarettes.
See,
Hmm.
and those same
You know
carbon
what I mean?
emissions have shut down summer camps for a lot of children. They're stuck.
Man.
Those same emissions killed so many people's plants that is
And
quite crazy. Like
you know
plants
what's
just died.
interesting to me? It's interesting that the stuff just goes away. And it's like I got a question, and I'm not gonna say that there isn't like resolve to things. Remember like the whole travesty about like the California wildfires?
Hmm.
Did they ever go out?
No,
No.
they never have since like 1987. We've been dealing with
No,
wildfire, and
but
we
but
like
here's the
letting it
crazy
go out.
thing. Like we see time and time again, we see um examples of people starting those things for certain reasons for their own validation. Like we see people literally putting their hand in the fire at this point. We're in a digital age. There's not too much you can get away with. So yeah, there are wildfires, but there are people that got their hand in manipulating some stuff and calling it a wildfire.
Yeah.
And there are assholes who just flick their cigarette off the side of the road, knowing it's been a drought for the last 3 months. And either
Yeah.
way, a wildfire is a wildfire. I don't care what the Mandela effect. Smokey the Bear need to be on y'all ass. And yes, it's
I
And
still
was
those people
there.
camping who think it's okay to leave the fire unattended.
They don't
Just
pour
this
no
is
water on it.
no water.
this
Like,
past week we celebrate. Well, I'm not going to say celebrated, but we honored. It was about 17 years ago. The building that I used to work in Conshohocken. Um, yeah, that's called a car. But the building that I used to work in. See, I'm staying focused. I'm on my
uh-uh.
medication.
The building you
Um,
worked in, you did good. Come on.
Right, the
he
building. You with it.
it went up in a whole blazing fire.
Oh,
And where we saw it happen, they called it something different. They said, "Oh, the sun was shining." We saw that man flick a cigarette on that treated wood, and they just whoop. But they said it was the sun and it was hot. We were like, mm, we got you, but whatever's gonna get you the highest insurance check, I get it.
and my bad, folks. I bit
See,
into that crunchy
see,
ass
I
chicken.
knew
I
I
bit
wasn't
into
crazy.
that crunchy chicken and didn't want to mess y'all's earbuds up. So my apologies. Um, I believe that too, Christina. It very well could be that. Hey, Precious.
Hey, Preston.
Williams distracted again. We love it.
Sorry, I'm a dad.
It does, depending on the situation.
Johnny Belafonte. We're not doing this today.
We missed you last week, William. Can we start there?
Yeah.
I miss
Hello.
y'all too. I did. So last weekend,
Right, Precious. Because where was he? Right.
Yeah.
last weekend, we gonna get into it. Like, damn it, there's a lot of people, celebrity stuff going on in the world stuff. We gonna get into our stuff. Last weekend, we had a conversation, right? We was like, we had a huddle up. We
We
said, "Hey,
did.
man," and this is what happened. I'm gonna keep it a buck with y'all. 'Cause this is what it takes when support is within the team, right? And we literally just talked about it. We said, "Hey, man, this bill got to get paid, and our bill got to be paid."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We took a breather and we took a break, but when we take a breather and a break, we take a breather and a break, and we take our moment. We let AI and the algorithm that we pay $54 a month for do its job, and it does its circulation and it does what it got to do, and we learn from that. But we took a break, and then we came back like, "Hey, man, by the way, this thing need to get paid. I just paid my rent, electric, gas, XYZ." And Kristen was like, "I just paid all my shit, and I'm still paying my shit." I'm like, "Me too." Lovey was like, "Listen, I just paid for an overhaul of my life." So I had to go out and hoe. I had to hold my voice. And
That's right. Prostitute
hey
that
man,
gift, baby.
And the
hey,
crazy part,
hey,
y'all, is the way
hey.
he gave it to us was we was questioning whether or not he was actually on a corner somewhere because of the way
Mhm.
he said it. It was like, wait a minute. He was like, look, y'all, I'm
I
gonna
say,
be
hey
able
man, I'm
to
gonna do
pay this
something.
bill, but I got to do some strings to get this
Right, you
change.
gotta do something strange. Yeah.
So I'm gonna see
Hey
y'all
man.
next week.
I don't know if I'm gonna be back,
all,
but if
all
I
I could
am,
think, all I could think was,
if my wig turned to the side like this, just understand
it's All Star
that I
Weekend.
gave it my best. I
Look, it's
gave it
All
my
Star
best.
Weekend.
Oh God.
Oh, that's funny. Sorry, y'all.
It's them seeing me, see them see me, see them
So
see me, see
y'all
this look.
know I always wind up sending, just sharing the show and doing all of this stuff in the beginning. So I'm still in that phase. People are hitting me up as the show is starting. So I love y'all and I'm sorry. Give me 1 second. But yes, it was very funny. And William did do a lot of great hoeing to make sure
That's
that
it.
we, in fact,
That's
um,
right.
were able to do our season 6
That's what
opener
I'm talking about.
last
That's
week. Seeing Tim
Ah,
Will. Hi, Rayusa. Nice to see you. Thank you for
hey
joining.
man.
So yeah, I mean, we do what we got to do to make sure we're here with y'all, and we appreciate Will's willingness to, go out here and hold his voice to make sure that his voice could be heard in other areas. Um, What else is going on with current events? Okay, so I actually have current events videos this week since we are going to be just talking amongst one another, getting to know each other, so on and so forth. Um, Here's the first video for the first current events topic, basically. Bear with me while I get myself together. Y'all know I ain't never got this right. I'm sorry.
I got this thing.
Weird. You know,
Yeah.
when Warren sat down with the guy, I know you don't like to say his name, I was like, okay, this one kid and his mom is a judge, and maybe he wants to sort of clear his name. But now every week, another friend sits down, or another friend sits down, and now they've got this lawyer, and they're sitting down and doing interviews. It's weird to me. And it's not just weird. Yeah, there are people who are going to say things on the internet. Why does that rise to the level of you need an attorney to now sit down and do interviews to publicize yourself, to try and change the court of public opinion? Why do you care about a court of a public opinion? Because you didn't do anything. And ultimately, if you didn't do anything, that's all going to come out when the results of the autopsy come out, when the investigation comes out. Like, this attorney has probably convinced them, yes, do this and talk about this and it'll change public opinion. But what it really does, some people will look at it and go like, well, what are you getting out in front of? If you didn't do anything, there's nothing to get out in front of. So in some ways, it can backfire on you. It's just weird to me. And then you also run the risk of what did happen is that one of these kids sits down and blasts Nolan's mom and says that she was wrong to put out that photo.
The fact that she posted a picture of me and Morgan and another guy and Nolan on the boat together, blasting that out there.
Like, that's not going to play well in the public for you, man. That you're attacking the mother of your best friend, who you're so distraught about losing him, yet you're doing an interview where you're attacking his mom. It's just stupid. Like, I think it's weird, you know. When Warren sat down with the guy, I know you don't like to say his name, I was like, okay, this
It is playing again.
mom is a judge,
It
and
is.
maybe he wants to.
But with that said, no, you're fine. You're fine. With that said, I found this whole case to be rather interesting, but yet very simple and basic as a whole. I mean, how many times have we saw this story? How many times have we seen this narrative? And I think if we had a conversation, a friend of mine, to where we were like, okay, how long does it take and how many people have to be lost that affects the world around us for us to gather the lesson?
Okay, so is the lesson that these niggas finna kill you? Because that's the only lesson I'm getting from this is that they finna if they look like this all the way around their body, they finna kill you. That's the lesson I'm getting. So that's a hard.
I mean,
lesson.
I'm not enraged because as much as I identify with kind of like the upbringing of that young man, like I went to a school where my graduating class, there was only 17 of us, and there was over 600, 700 of us in our graduating class. But never, 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 never did you find me at anybody's party, especially by myself. There was never a time when there was just a me amongst a lot of them. Now I have a sibling. Matter of fact, we all grown. We're adults now. I have a sibling that took pleasure in being around a bunch of people that didn't look like him. And he was a big guy. My brother not was, but he still is a big guy. He's like, I mean, the motherfucker's 6'2". He's 6'2". I'm 5'8". He's
I was about to say that's
220 pounds.
and
And I'm 160 when I eat everything on my plate. Three meals a day, right?
something bigger than him. It's okay, William.
So, a lot of people were honestly intimidated by him. And rightfully so. He's a little bit of goofy too. But they weren't scared enough to call him a nigger.
Oh, they were scared enough not to call him
Now,
a nigger, is what you're trying to
what
say.
I do remember is I remember working at a job when I worked at a shoe store, and this guy that graduated before my brother, but I was like came in right when he graduated, so like we kind of missed each other. So he didn't know that me and my brother were siblings. So he's like, yeah, this dusty bald headed nigger, da 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 da, and this dusty goofy nigger this, nigger that, and n word this and n word that, not knowing that I was my brother. So I worked at a very prominent or sporting goods company, and I gently picked up, something that was heavy enough for me to swing, but not enough to kill him. And I bust him in the head with it, and I lost my job, of course. And my father asked why did I did it. I said, because they, were calling my brother out of his name. And my brother said, well, they ain't say it to my face. And after that day, I never trusted my brother to protect me, and I never put a step forward to protect him ever again. Never. Oh, can't hear you.
My bad, y'all. I was saying that I feel like the reason why that was like that is because he was living in a world of false confidence, manufactured by the idea that, in fact, these people that he was around didn't have the background and the money to do the things to him that's been done to people like Nolan Wells, or the young lady who's found behind the house, and so on and so forth.
Mhm.
The infrastructure wasn't there in Philadelphia for those people to get away with doing what they did to them to him. So grateful
Yeah,
he was able to live through that, and
yeah.
he walked through life knowing that other people in his situation have been done dirty,
Hmm.
gave him confidence,
Hmm.
aka
We
what
have a guest that just came
Aaron
on.
Russell's. We absolutely do.
Uh-oh.
Welcome to the stage,
Ooh.
our guest Ben. Hi, Ben.
Hey,
Um,
Ben.
we
Hey, Ben.
appreciate you for jumping on. Thank you so
Don't
much.
be weird.
He's fine. Look,
Okay. Hi,
sure.
Ben.
Um, but the Nola Wells situation it fuels my anger. It
Mm,
does. It doesn't fuel my anger in the manner that I think is fueling everybody else's. I don't
hmm.
think that being with a group of more than 4 people of any color is safe.
Hmm.
Um, Previous to these few incidents that we've had this year,
Say
this
the
year,
truth.
every news story I heard about a friend leaving with a friend since Kanika Jenkins, and what was that,
Say the truth.
22?
Yep.
Hmm.
Every time a friend went to Mexico with friends, they came back dead. Every time
Somebody came up short.
a
Yep.
bunch of black people went somewhere, somebody came back not living. And so it was more dangerous to be in a group of our own friends, as they're calling this situation with Nolan Wells, of the same color, because they were literally setting up trips to take people out of the country to be able to get away with.
Mhm.
The difference between that and what we're seeing with this Nolan Wells situation is that because those boys, the good old Ocean Spring boys, are connected. Obviously, his mom's the judge of the county. Um, they're connected, and they live in a state that has
It's
uh
like one of the dads are a sheriff. The other one is like the uncle's a coroner.
right,
It's like,
Right.
yo,
the main kid Warren, the one that we hear the most about. His father is the CEO of Axon, which is the company
yeah.
that takes the
Well, this
police
is a perfect scenario.
cameras. Mississippi, in and of itself, has been the state, if we want an example for
Mhm.
how they've kept this idea of overseer go run down them slaves, slave catcher go run down them slaves.
Yep.
They have continued and continuously do things to people of color in that state and get away with it because of the fact that they have had this long standing um, procedure with which to handle these things by. People often forget We're talking about the state where Nolan Wells was murdered. We're talking about the state. Mind you, where the fuck is Horn Island? Because I thought about it. They're from Mississippi. And there's no islands. Mississippi don't touch nowhere. So what
I was blown away by that, so I couldn't figure it out myself. Like, I thought,
because if this state is landlocked, where exactly is the island? Nobody knows? No? Okay.
No
So
idea where Horn Island is.
right. But meanwhile, we have all of this centered attention on Horn Island. Okay. But in the meantime,
So
they're fucking up
what
our
I do know,
timelines. Like they're fucking up the timelines and nobody
so wait, Kirsten. So my neighbors who refuse to come on live, but they be having hella resource information. They like, oh, you not caught up on Nolan Wells? I see you talk. Well, bring your ass on YouTube, and then you can use your text. You can use your
talk to
thumbs
us.
and
Yeah.
type about Nolan Wells and let us know some resource information. I know you be watching.
Facts. Appreciate you watching though, neighbor.
Like and subscribe.
Always. And share.
Checks not checkers. Your daughter
and
does.
share.
Blue and gold. Blue and,
And
gold.
share. And share.
Hmm.
Yeah.
It's a terrifying story
So what I do know about Mississippi is that they do. I don't know if it was Alabama or Mississippi, but there are two panhandles in the South.
Mhm.
Well, three. Excuse me. There's Louisiana, there's Florida, and then there's
It's
Louisiana. They call it the boot, right?
right? And Alabama and Georgia have a little shared piece
And
of
then Mississippi had something too. They have like a trailer island
Mississippi
somewhere.
does not touch the water. And this is my whole point. Where is this island? Mississippi.
Maybe in the middle of the Mississippi River.
And maybe I just gotta adjust my mind to how big the Mississippi River is.
Mississippi
I was
River
just
is
thinking
huge.
that, like, it's pretty big.
Okay, so there's
Let
maybe
me
an
look.
island there. Cool. But yeah, so with all of that being said, it is very dangerous to go anywhere with a group of friends when you don't know what those group of friends' intentions are. Stay away from people who are jealous of you, who make funny comments all the time. Don't go anywhere where your life could be at the risk or at the helm of somebody who you're not sure about. I personally have never went to the club with anybody who I didn't know would fight with me, if in fact we got into it at the club.
I
And
never
that's
went to like third-party invites either.
right.
Right.
That's the most like minuscule part of it that you can like. People
Yeah.
often talk about, oh, he should have known. His parents should have taught him that being around a bunch of, them folks is not safe for him. But being around a bunch of us folks is not safe. So being around a bunch of any folks is not safe. And if that's the case, then are we supposed to live in fear? Or are we supposed to let our children be free and experience things like pontoons, where once they get to the SAT, they'll know what a 22 Triton boat is versus someone who never gets allowed to go anywhere because their parents are afraid that this is the life that they're going to wind up with.
Well, I believe that in between the two, there's a whole plethora. There's a lot of information that we can give to one another. Like my mother, was very untrusting of certain demographics. My father, he will God ordain somebody that's of a different culture and wouldn't even care. His side of the family, there's a lot of interracial marriages, and I love a lot of my aunts and my uncles, and there's a few also that I don't trust, and I'm gonna keep it a buck. And if I keep it a buck even more, I don't trust my uncle that married him either.
But see, this is where it all
Sorry,
falls down.
but
And I
at
mean,
the end
a
of
lot of people know. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Mhm. No, but but what I'm saying is that like we we tend to give everything for what seemingly is nothing or an idea of or a hope of something. We be like, oh, you're welcome to the picnic or the barbecue. And all we heard was somebody say something good at the first presentation of things going wrong. We wanted to go ahead and defend, and I'm not saying that people aren't justified and people aren't, they don't have their own viewpoints and personalities. But what I am saying is that we as a society, based on how we got here and based on how we're still thriving and how we're here, is through a lot of adversity. Some people make that adversity look easy. They make it look very simple. Some make it look grace driven. But at the end of the day, when we have this thing called melanin in our bodies that shows our complexion, we're faced with a little bit of a struggle that's different.
Right.
And our responsibility, in my opinion, is to exercise the things that are foundationally true in this world.
And
And
as a
I'm
person
going to
who
be
got
on a journey to really expose that.
as a person who got jumped into a gang at one time in their life, I do realize how much being a gang of one is necessary even in that environment. You know what I'm saying? Like you got to know that you can protect it and make sure you're good wherever you are. You know what I'm saying? Like this particular case, I think when you got a woman who's basically about to get off for postpartum depression because she just killed her kids.
Hmm.
You got a young man who's doing 35 years at the least for defending himself on
Hmm.
opposite sides of the judicial coin, so to speak. And then you have this case, which seems to have all of the evidence out in front of us. And I was talking to Lovey about this the other day. I seen a video where a guy was just talking about the facts of the case, and then thrown in the middle of the video was another video. I don't know if y'all remember Fight Club, but there was a point in Fight Club where he said he was doing work as a projectionist in the movie theater, and he would splice in adult movies into the
Mhm.
children's movies, and it was
Hmm. Hmm.
fucked up. Hey, Sticks. Um, it was kind of like that feeling, that bloop
Hmm.
real fast. You
Mhm.
didn't catch it.
Hmm.
I ended up watching this video 6 times because the video that was played interspersed in between was actually a video of a body being thrown over a
Mhm.
bonfire. A body that
Hmm.
was scarily like the young man who was missing at the time that this video was put out.
Hmm. Hmm.
Um, there's another video of them reeling in the rope after they got towed or were about to get towed and then fix the boat, where a hand just
Mhm.
underneath the pressure of the rope. There's a hand from the bottom of the boat, so you can't see into the boat because you're looking straight ahead. But as they're doing this with the rope, a hand in the line of the rope, there seems to have been some miscommunication. Let me just talk about Charles for a second and the reason why I wanted to put that video out there. One thing we've always loved about Charles from TMZ is him and the dude that they got rid of, the bald headed kid that went up
Mhm.
against Kanye when Kanye was talking all that shit. What's his name, Boo? I know you know his name. Charles and the other dude, I forget his name. Oh my God, but he's very famous specifically for going up against Kanye when Kanye said slavery is a choice, right?
Hmm.
They were
I
the
can't remember
ones,
his name.
right? Me either, but they were always the ones to stand in the gap for Black logic. Does that make sense? Like it wasn't never necessarily them
Yeah.
defending the bullshit, but they would always stand in the gap for Black logic, Black culture, and the Black ideas that we have been raised with the epigenetics of what Blackness is. And this whole time Nolan Wells has been happening, Charles has been eerily silent.
I think that is kind of interesting because the more that we gather what our culture really consists of, and I find it to be interesting about even my life, like looking at my parents and one being predominantly African and then seeing one side that's predominantly Native American. It's just like, hmm, this is rather interesting to kind of share a story of how our life is.
Mm-hmm.
Where does your life begin? Where do you begin? And this is a sidebar and a segue, maybe, because I asked a few people, do you believe that peace? Do you agree that peace is something that we should have? Uh oh.
Sorry,
Hello.
Cher is playing in my head because you said, "Do you believe?"
Do
Y'all
you
wanted,
believe in love after love? Do, do,
y'all
do,
wanted
do,
to get
do,
to know
do,
us.
do, do.
This
Like
is
low
what's
key, I
going.
bounced to it, but I just kind of kept it in my head, low key.
What's
And
going? This is
even
a
when we
lot.
talk
This is a
about,
lot.
the crazy part is, even when we talk about love, the first thing I say, like, what is love? Baby, don't hurt me. But let's talk about it. Do you believe that peace is something that should be kept internally, or something that's actively expressed to the world around you? Let's put it that way.
Peace is an internal gift that is actionably expressed to those who actually hold it.
Hmm.
So basically, you have peace on your inside, and because you have peace on your inside, you don't do goofy shit on the outside.
Mhm.
So your actionable expression comes from the peace within, but it's not a thing that you have to protect. It's not a thing that you have to go out of your way to find. It's not. It's all already in here
So why do people go to such great lengths to protect the thing that's supposed to divinely protect us? In
because
your opinion?
the society wants us to believe that we have to continue fighting for something that's already there.
Because people keep allowing other people and situations and things to interrupt what peace is. It's the denial portion of it, where you tell yourself that you can't have peace because of this, and this and this, when you are in full control over everyone's access. Your no is can be solid, it could be straightforward. It's your choice. You're choosing.
Mm,
You can cut people
Control.
out of your life in just a moment. It's not that hard. It really isn't.
mm,
You're choosing control. You're choosing what you choose to control. You're choosing
mm.
your emotions. I one of my and William and Lovey, y'all have both heard me do this with the twins in the morning. One of the affirmations that we say every morning is,
I love your affirmations.
listen, I control my emotions. That means I am happy. I can choose to be happy. If I'm unhappy, I can use my strategies to get back to happy. This is one of the things we say every day. Between that and telling them that they're responsible people, meaning
Hmm.
you're responsible for yourself. That means your
Hmm.
actions, your reactions, your body, your words, your things,
Hmm.
your work. Telling children they're responsible
Hmm.
allows them the independence that children seek so much in the discipline that is being a child.
I agree with that.
It also helps them to self-regulate.
But in this situation with the Nolan Wells thing in chat, please let me know what y'all think of Nolan Wells' situation. What y'all think about I know Christina has said that you shouldn't be out in any sort of pack because once you get into a pack, any 3 out of 5 group is not going to be solid. I don't necessarily agree with that. If we had 5 people in this group and 3 of those people was us 3, the other 2 people is going to be solid because we don't surround ourselves with anything
Right.
less than that.
Right.
Um, I remember a situation where someone got introduced to a male friend of mine and was in awe of how they did things and how they took care of me, and that was just my friend. And I just remember saying, well, I only deal with men.
Right.
Oh, do y'all watch this show? It's on Facebook, and maybe it's on social media. It's it's called it's some sort of like transit take with this Egyptian guy. He's on the New York subway, and
Mm-mm.
I think I sent it to our chat. So he's on a New York subway, and it's about it's very controversial thought processes that you either agree or disagree with. And this and whether or not she's gay or straight, but this, well, actually it matters. This he said, what's your take? That's, kind of far fetched. And I think I share this with you, Kristen. She said if more men were men and actually were responsible to the manhood that they subscribe to, then it'd be less gay women. Now, whether I
Let's talk
agree
about
with
it.
that,
Wait, let no, because
now
I
wait a minute. Now, whether I agree,
let's talk about it.
whether I agree with that stance or sentiment or not, she's not wrong. She's not necessarily wrong because, I mean, you look at, if this realm betrays you, or you feel betrayed by this realm, should I say, then kind of what else is there? And as a result, what's the appearance going to seem as though?
The sad
But
part is, for y'all, that means taking something up the dookie chute. For us, it's just a little coochie we gotta eat. It's a very different world. But there are so
well,
many men who have expressed that same feeling to me.
I wasn't done.
I know.
This is when it gets a little interesting. Because at one point I was a little bit offended. I said, "What? There's some? How come we already 7-1, and now you deal with some dusty da 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 da, and that makes the ones that be trying to do better." And I can't. That kind of went in my brain for a moment, but then I thought about it. I really did, and I did come to a certain resolve with this.
Mm-hmm.
I think that there are people in this world, and don't judge me. There are people in this world that really have an issue with taking accountability for their piss poor decisions, and they want to see it through to the end. And as a result, when the end doesn't come the way you want it to come, you decide to try something new, which is nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong. But what I've learned after 2019, COVID took place and the divorce rate kind of steadily went through its thing. By 2022, the divorce rate, when we used to laugh about it being at 70%, is now at 84.
Because we let more people get married. So now there's more people to get divorced.
Mm-hmm.
See, this was my issue as a person who was living in Massachusetts at the time of the whole gay marriage debacle, because there's no other way to say it. They
Mm-hmm.
they went forward so quickly with this idea of gay marriage, and we want y'all to have similar rights and so on and so forth. Right? And they was all and I was over here like, chill, because y'all fit in the human race. Like, calm down, right? So to go back to your original point, I personally do believe, I can't say a number of the percentage, but there is a large percentage of quote unquote full on lesbians who were previously hetero or bi until they got their heart broken enough times to now have a stud playing father for their kids.
I did have a question to resolve a point that I think we can both discuss and share, or all of us rather. Do you think that there should be a maturity aptitude test?
Yes,
Yeah.
for several jobs, including parent.
Stop looking
Do
like
you
you
think
want to
you
take a shit on you.
who what in Jesus?
Hi,
We're gonna
Ben.
move past the handmaid's tale all the way to the silo.
What the
Hi,
hell
Ben.
was who?
Hi, Ben.
Hello.
How are you?
Very well. Thank you for asking.
I forgot that he was here.
Oh, don't hurt yourself,
That's
Will.
the best
Ooh,
part
if
about it.
quiet was a word and this motherfucker's in my daggone ear canal.
Oh, so good.
We've had a guest the entire time, Will. It's okay to be comfortable. You're all right.
That went up under my rib. My
Thank
medicine
you for
wearing off.
speaking up. We appreciate you jumping
Come
in. What was your point, sweetheart?
on, Will. Just have a little Corona. It'll be all good. Yeah. Take that Corona and drink it.
Speak your piece, Johnny.
Ain't got nothing to share for now. Just making sure you. You should see my title. It's even better. Show my title.
I love it. Welcome,
Oh.
Johnny, to the stream, y'all. He's a longtime viewer, and we always appreciate his input. AKA Will's nemesis. We always appreciate
Listen.
somebody who's willing to come on and question the vibes, the issues.
Absolutely.
Even the questions sometimes get questioned. With that being said, I do think that's a huge thing that happens. What was your question, though, Will? 'Cause you did say
What
question.
my question really is like when we get to that idea and that narrative of like, okay, we see things for what it is. Like what do we let's simplify. What do we do next? You know what I mean? We see that men are not necessarily,
They bitches don't
you know what I
say
mean?
nothing right
And
now.
then there's women that are,
They niggas. We
you
not
know what I mean?
shit right now.
Can we is it fair to say that there is a standard that exists and we need to be able to articulate said standard?
No, it's not fair to say that because there is no standard. And I'm tired of people talking about cows being normal when they're just as horrible people as horses are. Listen.
Hey, wait a minute here.
Huh?
Right now.
Right. Like you see
On
what
these
she got
horses.
when?
All right, not so much on these horses. You know, I have an affair.
I know, but still, I think horses are horrible people and cows are just
But
as
they're not
horrible.
people.
They are.
They're not.
The lies you tell.
No.
If Caitlyn Jenner is a people, then so is a motherfucking horse.
I don't consider Caitlyn Jenner a people.
Oh.
Oh, we're on where we on season 6? Mm-hmm. It's time to cats out the bag.
Oh no.
Caitlyn Jenner is Caitlyn Jenner.
That's not a people.
No, Caitlyn Jenner is Caitlyn Jenner.
Okay, so
Bruce Jenner was a person.
Bruce Jenner was a people. Absolutely. We don't know if they're they, so we got to call them a people as opposed to a person, because if in fact they are they, them, that's a people, and Legion is present. So I'm always going to be respectful of the demons.
I so disagree with that.
That I know can do harm. What do you disagree with? The fact that Legion is the only demon that's called themselves they or them?
That ain't no people.
No, that's a demon, which I will respect.
That ain't no people. So I can't even give you that. Nope.
No. Versus a person. There are people who now want to call themselves they, them. And in my mind, they, them brings up Legion. And so I'm respectful of the fact that they are now people as opposed to a person. That's all I was saying.
You're confused. You're a confused human. Not you.
Oh, I'm not going to talk to anybody's confusion because we all confused.
But there's no, I can't, it is, and I tried, and I did in my best honest attempt. I worked at a position where there was a guy, his name was Stephen. Stephen. But he converted kind of midway through our training and became Stephanie. So one weekend he came back from work and they said, Stephen. He was like, it's Stephanie. Mm-hmm. Absolutely not. Stop. You can't do that.
Is it that viral dude that went, it's ma'am?
No. It damn sure might be. But he was like, it's Stephanie. And he didn't make it long in the job because, again, his voice gave anything other than Stephanie on the phone.
Well, see, here's the problem I have with that, because the people, I got so many happy Father's Day wishes on the phones at work. My voice be deep in the mornings, you know. Listen.
No, but your voice gets a little depth to it, but you don't have man. Say it again, Johnny.
She don't have no Barry White base.
There you go. You ain't got that. You ain't got that.
Not like a man.
You ain't
Not
got that in the
raspy.
morning. You know what I mean? Like you don't have it.
It's a little something, a little raspy.
I've heard you
Never.
behind the scenes. Like, ladies and gentlemen, it's time
You
time
still
to let the
sound like a
cats out the
woman.
bag.
Stop.
We letting cats out the bag. How this woman sound? We talking about Kristen Rare Wilson. What y'all hear on this show is not what we hear on a regular basis. What you see right here is a blend of a caricature of the art that she's so good at doing and the woman that is growing to what we see becoming. Like it's a beautiful thing,
I
divine.
don't know what the fuck he's
But
talking
when
about, but
we
it's
but
okay.
when we turn this camera off,
The patch. Yeah.
this is the most sensitive. When she tells you about these affirmations, it is right there. Y'all saw it, y'all missed it. If you didn't see that moment, you missed it. The affirmation that she gives to her kids are truly like this is like I swear to God, I was taller than her. Kristen, am I lying?
You
Don't I
do
say it all the time?
you all the time. You
I say
think so?
you gotta be 5'4". She's like, nope, I'm all of 5'10". I'm like,
I'm
but you
all of
just
5'10".
she be like, hey, make sure that we da 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 and da 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 da. I'm the best that I can be. I'm more than enough. And even when she's talking to her son, she gives her son the platform to be a man. You know what I mean? And she helps the
My
best that she
son.
can. And she'll be like, I don't know, son, because I'm not a man. I don't have what you have. I don't comprehend it. And what you see right here is very different than what we see. We see a full grown, just a woman, just being a woman on 99% scale. What you see right now is just it's a character by design, is what we're natured to do. Like what you see between me and you are a character. But beyond that veil, like I would say that motherhood standard, yeah, you can write a testament in that book. You
Okay.
can definitely write a few chapters of womanhood and testament, and the world needs to hear it.
First of all, thank you. um, but no, like okay, so y'all don't even
On it to
understand
the
how
side and all.
because y'all don't understand how taken aback I get by this. There's a young lady at my job who has now labeled me twice. The first label she gave me was perky. I came in one morning, I wasn't feeling well. I didn't say my normal good mornings as I passed by everybody's desk because I'm that person at work. I walk into those doors, all of my outside shit stays outside them doors. I come in, I say good morning to the people I fuck with, and I go and do my job, right? That particular day, I didn't say nothing. She's like, are you okay? Like, real concern to her voice, mind you. Like, she can't be no more than 26, right? Baby, cute girl, though. Are you okay, Miss Kristen? Are you okay? I'm fine. A little tired, but I'm good. What's going on with you? Like, you okay? Like, why is you over here in my face? She's like, you came in, you didn't say hi. I be missing your good mornings. I need to make sure you straight because you're normally the one who's in the one, mind you, the one Jet Li out this bitch who's in here perky in the mornings. Whoa, bitch. Perky was my response. Like,
It's I am you law.
Turkey.
I am nobody's bitch.
I am the one.
No. But seriously, that's your essence. Like, and honestly, just in some mornings, like you will make it a point to like. And this is the type of person this woman is. Like, y'all don't know this story about, and I don't know if you'd ever tell it, but that old job you was at,
Ah,
this woman was operating in
yeah,
grace, and y'all had no idea what was going on at that woman's job. And we would
very
have
good though.
we would have like group chats, like video calls. Like how many people was on these calls at one
7,
time?
8, 9, 10 of us. Like,
It was at least a dozen at any given point. And she'd be like, yo, I literally have no pot to piss in or a window to throw it out of, y'all. And we would laugh and she'd be like, yo, I literally don't have a bathroom to pee in because these men have destroyed this bath. And she
and I
walked this
refuse to.
camera in one day and I was like, I would never.
Madness.
Never.
Okay, so y'all remember I used to work at a mechanic shop. There was an episode that I recently
Yo.
did clips from where the back of the mechanic shop caught on fire, and they had to come and get me out the building because I didn't realize the back of the shop was on fire. Like I was just sitting there on the phone doing my thing, blah, blah, blah. Smoke ain't coming in the building yet. And then one of the mechanics comes in and was like, "You don't smell that? Get out of the building!" Ah! Come to find out, one of them niggas flicked a cigarette and California wildfires. Now, it was just a very weird. It taught me how to be professional in so many ways. It taught me not to treat foreign people badly just because I don't understand their accents. It taught me patience. By the time I got to the point where I put the camera around and showed them the bathroom, because I got sick of hearing it can't be that bad.
We was laughing at you. I promise we were.
Because I'm in there and it's like 11 o'clock in the morning and I'm doing the pee dance. Like, goddamn, I got to go up to the Walmart. Like, this is not okay. And I already have a huge issue with public bathrooms.
She chose a public bathroom over her job. It's crazy.
A huge issue. I literally lost this job over the bathroom. Right. I left a job because my boss looked me in the face and said, "So what? The toilet's not working properly. Take the bucket, put the water in it from outside, and then bring the bucket back in to flush the toilet." This is what there was one bathroom at this job. Like, this is what they wanted me to do. And now I'm at a shittier job. So I might have stayed. But
no, we're not gonna talk about what you have right now. We're gonna elevate now and then talk about our past. We thankful, aren't we thankful? Our bills are paid. But that last shit, we can talk about that last shit.
Oh, honey,
that last shit, right?
What's up, Johnny?
Poor Kristen was like, I absolutely refuse. And it was one day where her manager, she just got on the phone with us. And then got off the phone because her manager then saw her on the phone cussing us out. Not us out, but she was cussing her job out to us about the bathrooms. So the manager comes in. She says, "Wait, I'll call you back." Boom. Hangs up the phone. She comes back on the phone. Kristen is at home. She's like, "I absolutely refuse." She was like, "I refuse to sit on that toilet, and I could not do that. I've been sitting. I don't want to go through that. That is unfair." She never went back to work after that. She never went back to work that day. And I didn't blame her. I trust her. That's somebody that you trust. That's principle right there. That is principle.
But you're not one to make a complaint. So if she's complaining and telling you something's wrong, something's wrong.
Yeah. Like, she will tough that out.
You're right.
Like, straight tough it out. And one thing that's something that I really like. First thing I honored about it, because there was a couple of times where there was some conversation that weren't necessarily becoming, and she literally was like, "Excuse me for a moment," and waited till break. Went out to her car and let us have a new one and spoke about all that she felt, even if it was video text or not video text, voice text. She did what she had to do and really spoke about what she viewed and what she thought. You know what I mean? I thought that was like pretty dope. Cause I was like, whether I agree or disagree, I'm gonna ride with that. I'm gonna be like, that's a person that I can stand 10 toes down with. At least I know she ain't gonna stab me in the back.
Well,
if she say she gonna stab me, I know she gonna stab me. The end.
Be straight up.
What do you argue with that?
There's no argument to that.
Johnny, are you still there? Johnny. Well, Johnny will be back. But with that said, Lovey, what's your thoughts on peace? Do you think that peace is something that's outward, or do you think that it's what do you like? I guess protecting your peace. Like, do you what?
Oh,
what
you're talking about PAs.
Yeah.
Not PISS. My bad. Never mind.
No. You're fine. You're fine.
You know, you can't
So
I
act
feel
so the
like
question the
like this.
question to the room and my thoughts are about peace, because it's something that I've been kind of dealing with for the past, I would say, couple months, and sharing, as much as I'm learning, where people are like, "Oh, I'm protecting my peace," and I'm always like, "That's kind of weird." But then I realize that it's something that's more of a defense part of your aura. What are your thoughts about peace? Is it something that's inward or should be kind of like brought outward? Is for
I
anybody.
feel I thought he was about to say something, so I was like, all right, let me give him a second. I feel like peace is something that's internal
Mm,
that can radiate outward.
mhm,
And I feel like oftentimes people make excuses for why they need to keep their peace, or not even keep it, but protect it. I feel like a lot of times we allow things in and things up too close to us when we know that we can't tolerate it or it's too much for us. If you're feeling too overwhelmed, it's probably time for you to go be by yourself. If you spend time with a person and you're always jittery and out of your mind, and you don't feel comfortable, you're nauseous, your head hurts, you need to pay attention to those things. Those are ways that you could protect your peace. Telling someone I'm trying to protect my peace is really just being offensive to someone else because they don't even know what you're talking about. What peace and how am I disrupting it? You're bringing up questions and conflict that's not even necessary. You could just excuse yourself or remove yourself and get there very easily. So I feel like it's inside. It's you decide. It's your choice. You're in
mm,
control.
mm. Johnny, I thought that you were going to say something. I'm interested, sincerely.
Well, me personally, I already protect my peace because there are some people I already stay away from. I already know not to deal with the fuck shit and some other stuff. So I ain't got to really say it. I get some people who say it. I understand why they say it. But at the same time, also, some other people who tend to say it, they're trying to either take advantage of the word just because it sounds nice. Like they say, isn't latest soundbite, so why not? But some other people, they just say it when they're still probably part of their own problems, even though you can tell them you should be doing this, try and do that, or try and navigate this way instead and accustom yourself, etc. Sadly enough, humans are such a peculiar breed of species where even though you could see what they're doing wrong and they want to still, as they kindly say in Caribbean, mash everything up. So what's the point? So best thing to do, distance yourself, take for what is, enjoy your solitude or peace, as they say.
I like that. And I'm always curious. Like when people say that they're protecting your peace, and I guess I resolve that peace is kind of like that shield or that barrier, where um it kind of protects you so that you can properly prepare for what comes next. Does that make sense, right?
A little
Um
bit,
So
yeah.
so
far.
so if that's the thing that's supposed to in fact protect you in that way, shape, or form, or in any way, shape, or form, and you're protecting that thing, what are you protecting it with?
And
Rhetorically asking or actually asking though?
I'm curious, like genuinely curious, because I hear it a lot, but what I do hear it from is from people who are a step away from very hostile intentions.
and I'm aggravated now because here's the thing.
See?
It's not even a step away from hostile intentions. I think that the protection of peace is space. There was a point in a conversation that I was having with my son where he's like, "Oh, you just want to control how I talk." And I've always wanted to give freedom of expression to the people
Yeah.
that are expressing themselves to me. So I said
Mm,
no, but there are moments where I personally know my triggers. And if
mm,
you get to talking in and around a trigger, I'm going to try and give myself the space to hear you by asking you to lower your tone or asking you a question about the subject as opposed to not hearing anything anymore because now I'm triggered and whatever happens from there happens. So I do
mm,
think protection of peace comes with like space and distance, which is what Johnny was
mm,
saying as well. And solitude.
mm,
I think peace comes from people understanding or learning later in life that they are okay with being by themselves. So many people will ask the question of, how do you go to the movies by yourself? Or how do you
Do I
go?
proceed or do I wait? Because Will is looking like a whole shrink over there, nodding his head on the
No,
porch and then
no.
trying to say something.
No, I'm not trying to say anything. I'm like truly interested.
If you were saying something, I can't hear you.
Uh-oh. You couldn't
You
hear
can't hear
Will?
me?
Probably so, yeah, I will.
Okay. Can you hear me still?
Try and talk.
Talking.
Or should I exit and come back?
Exit and come back.
I can hear you.
Yeah, let me try
I
and
can
exit
hear
and come
you
back.
great, but if you
I
can't
can
hear,
hear him too.
right.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and exit and come back.
Lovey, can you
You're back.
hear Kristen?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So yeah,
Yeah, we'll take our
please
time.
feel free to exit and come back, so that your
Yeah.
sound can be better. We definitely want you to be able to hear what's going on. But yeah, what I was saying was, in the idea of protecting my peace, I think that people are so scared to say I'm walking away. People are so scared of saying I need distance from you because of the
Yeah.
nature of the relationship and what they don't want to lose from that relationship, that then will refuse to say in the words, I need space from you. You know, I need space has become so cliche as well. You know, the whole friends thing. We was on a break. You still have certain, you know, respects for a person. If you're, I had a situation with a friend, for instance, she did something that I didn't like. So I just stopped talking. But there's never going to be a person.
What?
Welcome back, Johnny, to the stage. Hey, Johnny.
Thank you.
But there's never, I don't feel like going to be a person in my lifetime who can say that I went outside of the boundaries of what my care for them was in a moment of anger.
Agreed.
And that's, to me, what protecting your peace looks like. These hoes will get online, and I be sounding so intellectual all the way up until these hoes piss me off. But these hoes get online, and these bitches want to talk that protect your peace shit. No, bitch, what you're doing is running from accountability.
You're running from accountability.
And that's why Nate Dogg said long ago, we don't love them hoes.
We don't love them hoes. Hey,
I heard an interesting statement, and I think that it kind of summed up how I've thought for like a number of years, is that, you know, accountability is easily assigned but hard to accept.
Unless you know how to face it.
Hella. You know, like, and that's the part, you know, some people, you know, like they're easily to say, okay, it wasn't me, it was a thing that caused me to do it. No, motherfucker, it was still you. You
No,
just made a choice with an inhibitor.
You're
No, they just
choosing.
don't want to blame it on the alcohol. They don't want to do like T-Pain and Jamie Foxx, you know? It's okay.
I mean,
Man.
you know, even with the alcohol, and maybe my tolerance is high, but there's never been an alcohol-induced situation that I didn't remember the next day. Yeah, they over there wilding. Well, they just smack the bitch and get it over with, for real.
Right.
But no, like,
It's a school night.
I don't believe in blaming on the alcohol, because you're not, you want to say that, you know, lowered your inhibitions, but even with lowered inhibitions, you still got to do something that you wanted to do. So.
No, I agree with that. And again, I do think that it's kind of interesting when people do forget that
you know, lowered your inhibitions, but even with lowered inhibitions, you still got to do something that you wanted to do. Okay, cute.
Did you hear that?
Yeah, back again.
What was that?
That is the delay.
And again, I do think that it's kind of interesting when people do forget that.
You know,
is it on a different thing?
Somebody's watching it while they're live. I'm not sure. But
oh my God, that was freaking me out.
It was. I was like, wait, what's happening?
Like it felt like one of those Chinese sheet movies.
Hilarious.
Eh,
Ryuza says accountability can only exist where there is meaningful review. I completely agree.
I
A
mean, and
complete agreement of that.
yeah, I agree with that wholeheartedly, and I think that it you can't make somebody accountable. You know what I mean? Like you just can't. Like you can tell somebody, huh?
No, I'm laughing because it's a perfect segue. Go ahead.
Not this like only thing you can do is like tell somebody the best truth you can from the standpoint that you were in. And how they receive it is how they receive it. Now, another part of that is to create a safe space if that person is in an intimate light with you, so for them to say, hey, let me bear my my truth with you as well. But most of society doesn't know how to handle humiliation, and they don't know how to really honor that as part of it being experienced to gather a lesson. But I'm open ears.
Go to BDSM dungeon and you'll ask some people
Mhm.
enjoy the humiliation. I'll say that.
And see, this is where honesty comes in because the reality is everybody has a thing that they love, they like, they do, they are. And because society tells us we can't be these things, you got, like he said, whole subgenres of just shit you can watch online of people doing the things that you want to do but can't do. Because if you do those things, you are X, Y, and Z. And it's just that to me is where protecting your peace comes in more so in life than just relationships because people always want to do that shit in relationships. Like, no, protect the peace of understanding that you're okay just as you were made. You were perfectly and wonderfully made by a creator who loves you, no matter what that means. And accepting that
Hmm.
is peace.
Hmm.
But the thing also we have to remember, alcohol is the true serum and also speaks a sober man's thoughts.
Facts.
As much as some people tend to forget or don't want to admit to it, they had to remember that because when they come to talking about that MD4 2020, they
Mm.
will talk about it. When it comes to Everclear, they will talk about it. When it comes to moonshine, well, that depends who you hang around.
Yep.
No, that's true. And now that I guess I'm thinking about it, and the more we talk about it, I think that if I could say, and I'm not going to say I discredit protecting your peace because I think there's an attribute or maybe a certain beatitude to doing such a thing, right? Like
Hmm.
if I have something, if I have a car, like I want to keep that car, maintained, and I want to keep it clean and polished. And if I had a good shield that did, I would want it to be clean and polished and kept. If it was made out of silver, I want the silver to shine, right? Even
But
when it's
see, peace
damaged.
peace is not your property.
Well,
Peace
it's not, but while it's
is
in your midst, wouldn't you want to take care of it?
so I've been called a bully in
Sure.
relationships because I'm more willing to protect my property than their peace. I'm gonna protect what I worked for. I'm gonna wax it. I'm gonna clean it. I'm gonna take good care of it because I worked for it. This is what I have to show for all of my hard work. I get through life understanding that I'm not broke. I'm invested. My rent is paid. This is paid. I'm invested in this life that I built for me and my kids. So I'm not broke as long as all this shit is paid and we good. There's no broke. In protecting my property, if your property is your peace, then that's a flaw within you. Peace is not something you have to protect, it's just something you have.
Right. So with that said, wouldn't it wouldn't it be, I guess I'll say it the way you and I would normally talk. Wouldn't it behoove you to take care of it?
You would think that, but people don't even sweep in front of their own doors now. You got it.
That was what I was insinuating, like you would a car. You know what I mean? Let's say your car is what's protecting you for the moment. Most people that I know don't drive around in a dusty car, especially if it's something that they worked very hard for. If they was just kind of, but if they worked hard for that thing and it's what they wanted and they desired, they really take care of that thing. Is it fully paid off? No, probably not. But it's something that you wanted and is doing what it's supposed to do and is doing above and beyond. So the least you can do is shine the thing
Right.
from the inside out.
I
The
don't see
least
that
you
in society though, William.
we don't. And I think that that's something that we don't talk about enough.
So with that being said, we've talked a lot about peace. I want to say rest
Mhm.
in peace to Hayden Panettiere.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
I love a good segue. Rest in peace to Hayden Panettiere. I don't understand how this young lady, and I have a video for this, so I'm actually play the video before I speak on it. But rest in peace to her. Prayers go up to her family because they are still trying to um, figure out what happened. So,
Pierre has died today, just 3 months after exposing a disturbing experience involving Hollywood's hidden rules. Earlier this year, Hayden revealed what happened to her when she was only 18 and her career was becoming more successful. She said she was on a boat when a woman she deeply trusted and saw as a protector took her downstairs into a small room. The woman then physically put Hayden into a bed next to an undressed man. Hayden described him only as a very famous man and never revealed his identity. Hayden immediately realized something was wrong. She refused to stay, ran out of the room, and hid somewhere on the boat. Because they were out at sea, she had no simple way to leave. 3 months after she publicly shared that experience, Hayden has now died at only 36 years old. Her representative confirmed her death, but her cause of death has not been released. Reports also claim Hayden had recently left Los Angeles with her on and off boyfriend, Brian Hickerson. Police reportedly responded to an incident involving her shortly before her death, and an investigation remains open. The timing has quickly caused discussion online. Many people are now asking again who the famous man was and why Hayden never revealed his name. What do you think?
Messed up thing is, when I actually looked up online on my search engine, it said supposedly overdose, and that's when I already knew it was a cover up. But I'll digress for now. I don't want to wear my tinfoil hat yet.
No, sir. No,
no,
sir.
you're
That is
absolutely
unjust.
No, I know you. No, because Kristen said she wanted to talk, so that's why I'm being proper, well mannered, and let her share her piece, and I'll share mine after. Girl.
The etiquette, but that's exactly where I was going, Johnny. I appreciate the way. This young lady really okay, so she affected me. I was a big Heroes fan when Heroes first came out on TV. Save the cheerleader, save the world. So now, since y'all done killed the cheerleader, we just this young lady really outside. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was a big Heroes fan.
Shout out to the only Haitian on that show, anyway.
Facts, right. The show had a lot of representation for different cultures, but it was very, very much so hard to hear that at 36 years old, this young lady was gone.
Yeah, and what's challenging to me is like we look back on our history, and it all goes back to the same root. Disney, what are you doing to these kids? And I feel terrible, but at the end of the day, I'm like Disney, they have been knowing and have a history of dealing with kids, and Nickelodeon too. And as a result, it's time to have that conversation. I mean, I know that Nickelodeon, thank God they went inside. Oh my God. But thank God that they Nickelodeon finally gave some sort of credence of like what's going on behind the scenes. I don't know if it was Nickelodeon or Whistleblower, whatever the case may be. But Disney, you're up next.
Actors
and it's about time that we shine the light on what's been going on behind the scenes.
Y'all
Because it's happening with these adults too.
Y'all don't
I
understand
don't
how
know if
terrible
y'all watched
Disney
this
is.
documentary that was released, I think either last year or a couple months ago, that actually
Mhm.
exposed a lot of Nickelodeon people.
Yeah.
Quiet on the set.
And it's not just that, but it's also the fact that for me, like I said, I went down that little rabbit hole. As soon as I found out she passed away, I was trying to figure out if it was the same hotel as where Pimp C died or not. And as soon as I seen overdose, I'm like, that was a whole cover up. And that
Hmm.
hotel is one of two that I can confirm because it's not the same hotel that Pimp C died from, but it is one of the two hotels that said that is linked with celebrity deaths. And as soon as you read that, or you could tell that, it's a whole cover up because she's not the first, she's not going to be the last, even though they could
Hmm.
switch it up. But once you pick up the patterns and you could see, you will notice it's definitely a bigger plot than what it is. And to what you asked, to what I researched and found out, and this is a whole hypothesis, so don't necessarily quote me on that. For celebrities, and when they're kids, as young as they are, some of them are untainted because some of their parents were protecting them. Good for them. But however, there are some who ended up being tainted, to say it politely, and some of them ended up becoming drug addicts where it is normal and understanding because they had to cope with some shit somehow instead of being at the end of a bottle. However, those who actually went to the point of being really fucked up gone, they either get tatted all over their faces and they become traumatic enough as is, or they just become junkies to the point where they're rated off and they're no longer anything.
And Hayden Panettiere was one of those kids who had the tumultuous, upbringing in as a child star. I remember her being with the young man that played Peter Petrelli on Heroes and commenting to myself at the time, like, they're like 10 years apart. She was 18 at the time. He was, I've since done a little more, into the rabbit hole of this young lady's death. The alleged famous person, the famous male on the boat that she was talking about was James Blount. The day that she passed, which was 3 days ago, James Blount, an English pop singer, very famous dude, put out a weird music video of him being on a boat with a young lady who's got a bag over her head, trying to escape and run from him for her life. This was a music video that didn't have anything to do with the actual music. And this lady is now passed away. She's got a daughter.
I
As the
mean,
video said, they just left Hollywood because she had just came out and started saying things that had happened to her in her early career. And it just, I don't know.
Ever a coincidence?
it's say that again, Johnny.
Nothing is ever a coincidence. So saying that word
Mm-mm.
blasphemous. That's why I always say it's ironic, it's funny, it's interesting.
It's interesting, and we and being a father, and I know that we have children that are gifted in their own rights. Like, I get to speak to people who have children who are in relationships, and some of these children are wickedly gifted. I mean, they could reenact a lot of what we saw growing up. I mean, I can name about a good 7 8 kids right now that could do a whole reenactment of a different world, because they're made for the camera.
There's a new one. There's a sequel
I
coming.
Right.
I
I
said
I see, just up and down this block. I see like talented, athletic kids and kids that have promise, and um they just get put into the wrong hands, man. And when they do, it's like, part of them is like, okay, if I make it, then I can deal with it later. But some of them don't make it, and they're stuck holding on to it.
right.
They may make it successfully and they may have the money. We look at Raven Simone, Miley Cyrus, Ray J. You
Orlando
look at
Brown,
Orlando
Orlando.
Brown. You
Usher,
look
Chris
at
Funny,
Brown.
um
something that I
you look at all of them, and in these kids, they don't know what they sign up for.
Right.
They're under the impression that they're relating to their peers.
Mhm.
I'll say this, and this is definitely a whole assumption, so I'll take this shit for
Mhm.
what it is. When it comes to certain kids of certain families, I'm not necessarily saying demographic wise, but certain kids of certain families, especially of how you mentioned those specific children, even though Ray J and Brandy are step brother and sister, some of them have their families who have been in the entertainment business and in Hollywood for generations. So some
Generation.
of them probably already have an idea how it is, or they
Oh, it's
just are,
grooming.
Mhm.
yeah.
Mhm.
So they're
The ones
complacent.
that are successful, the Angelina Jolies, the what's his name, Charlie
The,
Sheen's,
the
the ones
Estevez.
that yeah, the ones that
Yeah.
are successful are the ones that have been the what's her name from Blackish, Diana Ross's daughter, like and son, because they're both very
Yeah,
successful on TV
but
now. Like,
Tracy
here's
Ellis
what's actually funny messed up though, and I'm gonna
mhm,
use the prime example that you just even used for Emilio Estevez and his brother, well, his son, and also Charlie.
mhm,
The thing is this:
Tell the
for,
truth.
for both of them, they remain like the two of them. They wanted to keep their Spanish because they wanted to keep their heritage and keep that going,
right,
even though they kept that going. Yet Charlie said, "Nah, I'm not keeping it because I want to have more roles, this, that, and the third." Even though,
Mhm.
and around that era in the 90s and 80s, that's when that they had a certain family in the background of Hollywood who was letting them have the pass and all of that. Then after a certain around 1998, 99, not even before 2000, everything of that generation was cut off and gone, and they switched hands and they're no longer going. However, because Charlie changed his name and everything, he still had a little run going for him, but he did that Alien movie. Whack ass shit, by the way. But anyway,
mhm,
Yeah, and to your
movie-
point,
movie- movie. Yeah,
Ben Vereen, and like this is immediately to your point, Ben Vereen, he was the prominent
nigga,
figure.
figure,
nigga,
right? There you
nigga.
go.
He was the
So
prominent nigga.
Mm.
to have Ben Vereen and then
Oh,
have Charlie Vereen and then to have Emilio Vereen, and then you have Charlie. You look at it. You have the prominent figure Ben Vereen. That everybody looked at as the wholesome, what I mean, person. So he has two kids from two different women, and he's married to one. Part of it had to do with that.
right.
The image of what it now did. Emilio and Charlie both make their choices to change their name. Yeah, they did because they wanted to their
Elevate.
own piece of the pot, right? So, they both took on the different aspects, but they still carried the same bloodline, which led to the same garner of success.
Mhm.
And again, I find it very interesting. If you look at them both, they both had very, very heavy struggles when it came to what happened off the camera,
Yeah,
Yeah.
much like
one brother
Robert
was
Downey
on
Jr.
trial and the other one wasn't. So
Right.
fuck their
You
struggle is where I'm at with.
now, and again, you can
It's the same way I
that's
feel we was talking about Nolan Wells. Them kids talking about all this shit, and the mama said that she shouldn't put the picture. Fuck y'all
it
niggas, because that
it
boy
get
is
it
dead.
gets it gets very it that's when it gets really tricky, and I think that this episode kind of shines light on how we all posture our thought process. um like I saw your name, by the way, and I think it's kind of funny. As much as he is my adversary, I think that we're much more like-minded than we care to believe. um Now, with that said, I tend to separate a person from their behavior, and I know it's not something that's common, and
I'll say,
most people are willing to do. Go ahead, Johnny.
and this is definitely me coming from Haiti, outside looking in type shit. So bear with me.
Hmm. Sure.
I used to feel the same way because that's something I was brought up to think. If you're a
Hmm.
celebrity, do not associate that persona to the person. But
That's what I was just about to get into.
yep.
Now,
However,
there's a separate. Go ahead.
real quick though.
No,
However,
no, please.
as I got older and I got deeper and deeper in the rabbit hole, because I'll be honest, I almost was deep into that shit. I realized, like, going back to the family thing, some of them are so far gone and so far beyond psychologically, like Heath Ledger, they became that persona, they became that
Mhm.
person. And
There
because
it
of being
is.
tied to families and everything, they do not know the normals to you and I.
There it
And those
is.
who actually left out Hollywood, like Sarah Michelle Gellar and Ryan Philippe, good for them, they did it. And some of them actually said, okay, you know what, I'm a good actor, I'm a decent actor, I'm not trying to do anything more. But to you and I, it's just average enough to enjoy. It's palatable, it's enjoyable, not over the top, not overzealous, nothing extra. Even though, yes, they'll do roles of certain things, but they're not tainted to the point of they're one of those who slip through the cracks of not being all the way far gone. But proceed with the video, please.
So based on
I'm
what's
interested.
enjoyable, yeah, absolutely. Based on what's enjoyable, this was one of the questions I want for all the panelists to speak on. What is your guilty pleasure? Jill Scott, yeah, Jill Scott went into what is her guilty pleasure, so we're going to share this video. But then I
Dear
would
heavens.
love to get what y'all's guilty pleasure is.
Happen to love, I'm not proud, I happen to love the drama between Blueface and Krishan Rock. I love it.
She
I
ain't crack a
know.
smile.
I know. I know.
Now, what is it
know.
about this said situation
I know.
that does it for you? What does it bring up for you?
I think that's a pimp, and I think I think that's a pimp, and I think that she got caught up with a pimp.
But she has an interesting side too.
Listen,
Because just when you think she's a little, please don't take this the wrong way, when she got a little Sheila in her, she'll say some that be so real,
and she can fight.
and she fights.
Yep.
And so that's probably what keeps you in.
It's a guilty pleasure. I just find it fascinating. But I am such. I am that way. Like, I like the study of people I don't know. I don't know anybody like this, and I don't know anybody like her either. And I'm cool with that. But I find it fascinating that this could even be.
And then there's so much to it.
And there's so
the
much added to it.
tattoo,
It's a lot.
The tooth.
It's a lot.
It's
a lot.
There's so much. It's not what I expected from your
I,
bro question.
it's not what I expect either. But you said guilty pleasure.
Okay. Okay. We're not even going to talk about what Jill's good. Jill. I think there's an innocence to this. I think there's such an innocence. Shit. Love you. Go
You're
ahead.
back.
Go ahead.
Guilty pleasures. That's the question.
I'm trying. I'm a little bit ashamed, but go ahead.
Oh my God.
Lord.
Guilty pleasure. Oh. I love to scan social media for them on them crime and watch two Karens go at it and knock each other out. Like, that thing really is like.
It fell over the garbage cans. Oh
my God. Look.
Oh, she fell down at the garbage cans because she had a point to make.
Right.
Listen, unmute.
I'm not muted. I'm not
Oh
muted.
no, we lost Kristen.
Uh-oh. Hold on.
Uh-oh. I can still hear her.
Can you hear me?
I
No,
hear you. You don't hear her?
I don't.
Uh-oh.
Damn it, Johnny. Hold on.
Why is it Johnny's fault?
Why is it Johnny's fault?
I don't know. I just had somebody to. Accountability is easily assigned, but hard to accept. Give me a second. I'll be right back.
Boo.
Boo.
Right.
Oh my God.
I don't care. Hey, she can hear me. You conscious?
I can hear you. Hilarious. So Boo, what was your guilty pleasure you were saying?
So, them on them crime really does it for me. Like I love to see the two of them just go at it, male, female, female, male, whatever, or two Karens just go at each other. And I'll search for it on social media and be like, oh my God, because it's always, you know how they paint us as, we're always getting into, we always fighting and we're animals, we're barbaric. Some of the stuff that we watch them do to each other, it'd be like unreal.
Is it
Leaving packages outside to blow up in each other's faces.
this shit is hilarious.
Like,
That shit is hilarious. The bitch said, I'm gonna call the police after you stole somebody's package that blew up in your car, which is hilarious. Can you hear me?
I love those.
I can't hear you though. You're on
I
mute.
can't hear you either.
Lovey,
Yay.
Yeah.
Lovey,
Yes.
is she talking?
I
Yes.
am.
God, motherfucker.
Oh,
Freak her.
no.
We're doing better with our Christianity here somehow.
I don't know if that has anything to do with Christianity, but we're
I
going.
don't know if that was that, but yeah.
Yeah, no.
I don't know.
So since we're here, I honestly, I think my guilty pleasure is going online and looking up pastors that cuss.
What does it do for you?
It makes me feel human. It makes me understand that all those years of being treated like a pariah in church allowed me to be able to enjoy this moment. Because my guilty pleasure, William, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay.
All right.
My
There we
guilty
are.
pleasure is going online and finding videos of pastors that cuss and say wild shit. That
That
pastor
definitely is a
that
thing.
said he didn't cheat on you, you just don't have Christian coochie, sent me. When I tell you I laughed for days, because the devil invaded your coochie, bitch. You just the pastors. It's my guilty. It's definitely my guilty pleasure. It's the pastors who go on there and say wild shit.
Mm-hmm.
I have a guilty pleasure. I have quite a few. I think I'm like almost one of those insatiable type of people. But one of them is kids getting hurt. Kids getting hurt. There's something
That's
about
when they fall down.
I don't know what it is. It's like there's something in me that's like, and I promise you, like I will pick up my phone and it'll be bright and early in the morning, and I will be like, this is meditation time, and I will go to my search engine and I will pick up kids failing. And instead of
How
putting
long
in
would
my
you want to
meditation
see
music,
kids failing for?
No, it's hilarious.
hey man,
It's
first
very
of all, this is a no judgment zone, and we're talking about our guilty pleasures. Don't you judge. Kids falling is absolutely incredible. First of all,
falling. Proceed.
Falling and failing is one and the same to me. Like they attempt something and it just doesn't work out in their favor is absolutely. I feel bad because I almost look forward to it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
It's
that's
like
what a guilty
you almost
pleasure is.
predict it before it happens, like, and you almost
Don't
bet.
judge us.
Is it a skin
90%
chin?
of me and Will's personal just exchange of videos is
Yes,
oh,
it's
no.
dark.
Oh,
It's dark.
No. Oh no.
Who is dark?
Kid jumping sky high off the top of a goddamn jungle gym and landing
Man.
first in the sawdust. Like it's hilarious.
Scorpions are my favorite. Youthful scorpions are my favorite. Yes, if you don't know what a scorpion is, you gotta go on YouTube, look up YouTube, fails and falls scorpion, and it is a life-changing
If you don't
game.
know
Watching
what a
somebody's feet
scorpion
kick.
is, that means you never watch Ridiculousness, which
Yes,
means that we can't be friends
we can't be friends.
because people falling. Y'all want to
Yes.
get to know me. Y'all want to make me laugh and keep me in a good mood. Show me a video of somebody busting their ass.
Hey, another guilty pleasure.
Including myself. Show me a
Me
video of
too.
me busting my ass.
Somebody's on there.
Thank you, Daddy. Love it.
Another guilty pleasure is people. Yes, sir. It's people getting the better, or
Oh,
animals
back to a
getting the
regular
better of
program.
them.
Thank you.
That's what I love is when animals get the better of people.
For some reason, I can't hear Will.
Oh gosh.
Oh no.
Well, the when animals attack videos are very, very good. Will, I'm not sure why you can't hear him, Johnny. We're having intermittent issues, so I do apologize for that.
Then again, he's on the porch.
He's on the porch. He ain't jumped off the porch yet, so we doing good. He gonna be on the porch. While we're talking, I do have a current event involving Canada and the United States. We have finally reached an agreement between the two countries, the two neighboring countries, that will delay the 50% tariffs that y'all's president tried to put on Canada for all of their beloved things that we just love so much, like their ales and their syrup and things of that nature. So at this point, we're in agreement. So hopefully they stop burning stuff and we stop losing summer camp. I don't know what's going on with the Canada wildfires, but they've been so widespread over the last 3 years that they might as well be just part and parcel to California. We have brought up Netflix a little bit earlier for the things that people watch and the guilty pleasures and whatnot. Y'all heard about that show, K-Pop Demon Hunter?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh God.
There's a Christian metal band. Okay, I'm gonna run it back.
Christian metal band.
Christian metal band. Interesting. I'm sitting here trying to process this.
I was too. Like, wait, what?
There is a Christian heavy metal band called Demon Hunter.
Okay.
Oh, so they were trying to basically sue for copyright infringement.
That's it. They're suing for intellectual property because they basically have now. Okay, so basically what they're suing for is why I refuse to watch any of the Wakanda movies, because basically anything that anybody puts in for them trying to find a show comes up with the Netflix show K-Pop Demon Hunter. And so they are now losing revenue streams because Netflix decided to use their name in the title of their very successful K-pop cartoon series. Can we talk about Christian metal band?
Because of the fact that I
It's a
hear
sharp
on
left.
DJs and musicians, to me it's not as oxymoron as it sounds, but regular person, like, yeah, it does sound like, what the fuck?
Well, I just grew up in a world where metal was the devil's music.
Well, I heard that too.
Even
because
the
apparently
idea.
Ozzy Osbourne biting off the hat and yelling out and everything.
Yeah.
Demon.
Yeah. So just hearing Christian metal bands in and of themselves kind of made that.
I mean, I would say the idea of
Things you
just
learn
like
when
that
it comes
style
to
of
legality.
music.
That's why, to me, like I said, at one point when
Oh, he
you
can't
actually
hear
look
me.
down to
I
from the
forgot.
other lens of how the shit goes on
He
in the
gonna go
United
for it.
States, you see it's a whole joke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, you know,
He gonna go for it.
when you're within the joke, it's hard to see that you're the joke.
Sadly enough, but
Absolutely.
that's why, like they say, I mean, I didn't understand the point of this word, I'll be honest, because English is my third language, but when you don't have discernment to notice.
You're such a show off, Johnny. I love it.
It's that
Yes,
West
I am.
Indian shit.
I'm having a little Will moment.
I love it.
So,
But yeah,
Signal.
like seriously though, like certain things people don't have the perception of, even when you tell them. I mean, it goes back to the safe word. Matter of fact, it's. I remember I was having this discussion with someone. This is years ago, right? And I'm trying to explain to them, well, this word means this, and they're like, oh, but is it in English? And I'm like, no, but they use it in English. But you speak French, so what are you saying? You don't know what you're saying. I'm like, you know what? You're right. Never mind.
Right. Because crepe
I,
is a crepe, with whatever language it's in is still a crepe. So I get what you're saying, Johnny, but people don't
Yeah, like
like
I'm
to think that way.
I'm trying to help you out, not to look like Boo Boo the Fool. No, not even Boo Boo the Fool, like Boo Boo the Fool's mama.
I mean, again, some people are committed to
God damn,
misunderstanding.
you were
That's the
just
one thing.
anyway.
Like,
Oh,
I don't know if he can hear me. Let him
I
know when
really
I'm,
can't.
Hold
I'm
on,
saying
Johnny.
something.
Hold on 1 second, because Will's trying to say something. I
I
So
don't
know.
one
think he can
thing,
hear.
That's why
and
I'm like, I can't hear him for some reason.
to his point though, and this was a credit to Johnny. People are committed to misunderstanding, and it's scary to sit down and shake something that traditionally has been, passed on to you from generation to generation. So we talk about, for example, let's say something that we all have seen passed on. We won't say slavery because we, kind of are still attached. Let's take music. We understand foundationally in the United States that the music that we hear is traditionally based on our root struggles. Yes?
To some extent.
Okay. So then they, not they, but then you have those that are kind of overseeing, create a dynamic and a narrative to say, hey, the thing that we saw you create, we're now going to relabel. So now there's this big waging war when the cusp and the whole idea of music is no longer what we see it as, because we've been fighting over if pop belongs to us or not.
It all belongs
Right?
to us.
It all belongs to us,
So
doesn't it? I mean,
we want to believe that, though. Like you and me want to believe that, and I wish Johnny could attest to it. We want to believe it because when you look at pop literally means popular culture, and popular culture right now is us.
Right.
So as a
So
result,
hold on, Will.
mhm.
Johnny, what William is basically saying is that we struggle as Americans to figure out which lanes are our own as Black people. We talk about pop music and things of that nature, and we struggle to try and figure out if that's something that we created or if it's a lane that we can be in. Am I getting that right, Will?
Yeah, to the message,
I'll say
but the
this, and this is not necessarily the Haitian in me, but just me personally. It
sure.
could go either way. Culture itself goes as deep as anything and ever. Everything is borrowed, taken from, shared, all of that good shit, you know? But when it
Mhm.
comes to the arts, I can understand and respect where I rather say melanin people. I don't want to say African American, all of that, especially with anyway. When it comes to the arts itself, yes, I do agree that the due diligence itself should go to the originators of the melanated people. Like, ironically enough, a couple of days ago, me and a couple of friends were just listening to music, and it's kind of like on Twitch where you could basically put in a request for a song, and we were just listening to rock and roll, and next thing you know, she basically put in as a request Bloodhound. And as we know, the most conventional traditional version is Elvis Presley's. However, those who actually know and or listen to music and listen to vinyl especially, they know it's actually Big Mama Thornton who actually came up with it.
mm-hmm.
And the funny thing is, that's the version that played first. And we were enjoying it, having fun with it, especially if you know that version, you can enjoy it for what it is. You can see the liveliness of it. You can feel the jazz, the blues, the grass, everything of it. But when you end up, literally what happened, you end up hearing Elvis's, it's like a basic shit. It's plain. Like
Commercial.
no life, no nothing. I mean, it sounds interesting, especially if you put your mind frame to that era.
Mhm.
But let's call it for what is. It's not all that. And this is where it will cause division within people, because sadly enough, let's call it for what is. There was a whole propaganda of, if you're Black, we're not going to allow you. And even though there were certain people who would let performers perform, but they had to be blended in as either the background of hiding themselves, or when it came to women, they had to say, oh no, you have to have a guy. if you have a guy, you have to be of a certain level of blackness, or you have to be have a white guy to be your forefront. This, then, the third. Like, there's so much things that got twisted around. And even in the Caribbean, is they do hide and or erase the history for what is. So there's no tangible evidence. So it's not just us; it's all of us all together. Where the separation itself comes from, I feel as though they, like they always say, the white people or those who don't have culture, they don't have any basis, they don't have any evidence or anything to showcase for themselves. And as they always say, who writes history books or who writes history and gives you the dish for what you deserve is a
William, don't start.
He looks like he's about to bust a nut on himself.
He really do, but he's not. I promise. He's just so happy to hear somebody be on the same page with who writes the history.
Just send him a picture of that mollusk with the geoduck or gooey duck.
Hilarious.
But no.
In the spirit of what you were saying, Johnny, I do have a question for y'all. What's something that you believed when you were younger that you no longer believe today?
Ooh.
Does it count for something when I already switched around my mind when I was younger?
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. As most people, before you know that TV is fake and all of that, like at once upon a time, I used to think, oh, this seems interesting, this, that, and the third. However, when I actually, going back to what I was saying earlier, of knowing it's an art, it's delivered as entertainment, it's just for pleasure, etc. So I kind of looked at it from a different lens. However, certain shit would seem like a plausibility of something that could happen. So when it came to movies, etc., not before even knowing of documentaries, it's the possibilities of. So it made me think, what if those things are not just codes, languages, or something to look into and or consider? And even though my culture may not be their culture or I don't share the same things, what if it's not something from their end that could have me tie in like a puzzle piece to what is the bigger picture for what is?
For sure. For sure. Lovey?
When I was a kid, I used to believe that love could conquer all.
Say what now? To rewind, press play. What?
I used to believe that love could conquer all.
I mean, okay. You know what? To be fair, yes, it can.
Let's
Right.
go. I'm ready.
Yes,
I'm
it
ready
can.
for your thoughts, Lovey.
But sadly enough, we have tainted people who are the darkness. This is why I always say to
Oh,
people,
he can't hear me,
yes, I
so
have
he can't. You
darkness,
got to give her a
but I know
platform.
how to
Hold
balance
on.
darkness.
Right. Absolutely, Johnny. Hold on one second because Lovey wants to finish her thought.
Sure. Sorry about that.
No, you're fine. You're fine. In a way, I feel like if it were possible for everyone to love, I'm an adult now, so I understand that it doesn't resonate in people's chests, not the way that I might feel it, or you might feel it, or the next person might feel it. But when I was a kid, I really did believe that if I loved you no matter what you look like, and we put love first, we put each other first and the group as a whole, instead of us being selfish, if anything was possible. It was magic. Like it created a magic that could move around the whole earth and everything could be great and peaceful.
That's where I'll say, if I may add real quick, I'll say if you connect with the right people, not necessarily, oh, your tribe is your vibe or type of thing like that, but just if you find people who connect enough with you, who have more of the positives, that's the love that could help heal and make things better.
Absolutely.
Which is why I always say the positives of the darkness.
I
Will,
now feel like
go
I'm
ahead.
sorry.
No, you're fine. Go ahead.
I now feel like love can be the after effect of hate driving the force.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you need to destroy a thing and burn it down all the way to the ground in order for something to grow. So
Turn that shit down. Oh, sorry.
that's our hidden why we call this those two words, 4-letter words, they're curses, one way or another. I'm done.
That shit down. Anyway, William,
Yes.
if
Yeah,
you had any one thing that you remember believing as a child that you no longer believe now, what is it?
look, I'm like shaking like a stick right now because it's something I'm still battling today as a reality. Um, I still believe, and it's similar, kind of similar to Lovey. I had this ungodly belief that people knew what love was.
Mm.
I did. I really did. And I thought, if I'm being honest, that I thought that I knew what love was.
Dun, dun, dun.
You know, like I thought that it was this happiness, and I thought that it was this, this beautiful thing when you run through the meadows, like fucking flowers would grow. And if I said I loved you, everything would be okay.
Jesus. That
Hmm.
shit
Shut the
triggered
front
me so
door.
bad. That shit triggered me so
You,
bad.
you
Oh
see
my God.
why I'm triggered right now, right? And if I said I loved you and I truly meant it, that meant that everything that I did that didn't represent love would cease to exist, right? I thought that love made people forget some of the bad shit that I did.
Mm.
I really thought this. Like I really did. Like I'm sorry that this is the person that y'all see that thought that this was this intellectual being. No, this was part of my naivete that I exist. Why I used to jokingly say, and I want to be clear about that, why I had a problem um deciphering. It's funny that you say that, deciphering a hoe from a housewife is because it's not that I can't, and I want to
Yes,
be
you
clear.
do.
And I know it triggers you, but it's not that I can't. But I believe that if a person tells me that they love me, and this is the innocent side of me, if that they tell me that they love me, that part of me wants to believe that they love the totality of who I am. And that was something that I carried well into my 30s.
Yeah, all that Disney Channel fantasy
You know
love,
what I mean?
it makes you believe all kinds of stuff. So I
I
can't
I realized
let y'all
very,
that way.
very suddenly and abruptly that that wasn't the reality. And what the reality is that um love is a responsibility, and it
Eh,
has parts that you are obligated to factor in to declare a thing what it is.
mm,
Now that may sound super deep, but maybe later in our dialogue we can go into certain things and maybe a healthier notion so that we can put it all together and have an expectation for ourselves as opposed to other people. um but yeah, I thought that love really was something that it was like a magical thing that made things go away, and everybody knew that if love was what it was, then that meant that all was good in the world.
mm-mm,
And oh God, is it not?
mm-mm. It's not. I feel bad that I'm the only one on the panel that doesn't have a thing about love. I don't know that I didn't believe in love as a kid. I don't think that's the case, but
Right.
I feel like I had a very distilled version of love. And so that wasn't one of my core beliefs as a kid.
Hmm.
I believed and no longer believe that adulthood was the solution.
Hmm.
I wanted to be grown so bad, y'all. Y'all don't even understand how much I wanted to have control over my own life because I just ain't no way I chose this childhood. Ain't no motherfucking way I chose these parents. Ain't no way. So as a child, I just knew being an adult and all the stuff that I couldn't do as a child that I do ritually as an adult, like take naps. Listen, I thought being an adult was going to cure every bit of my childhood.
Mm-hmm.
And then what I found out as an adult,
Mm-hmm.
I love you, Johnny. He said, back to the jokes and crudeness, love, LOVE, legs open very easy. I am not mad at you, sir.
I shook my head at that. Oh my
I
God.
did. I felt like, everybody's back in the day. If you was doing anything that looked adult as a child, you was considered fast.
Mm-hmm.
And so adults were so constantly warning you against being grown up too fast, just doing anything that looked, stay in a child's place. Don't do adult type stuff.
Yeah.
I no longer believe that adulting is ghetto. 10 out of 10 do not recommend. If you could stay in that space. That's what they said, my nigga. He missed the ball.
Whoa.
The way I would have redirected that whole conversation. I'm so sorry, William. That shit, I'd have been like, oh yeah, that's what the fuck she did? No, sir. Look, I'd have been all in that conversation.
It was a whole speed chase down the block. Well, that's why you saw me yank my head like, oh my God.
I don't know what was happening video wise, but audio wise, that nigga was funny. I don't know what he was talking about, but I want to know the whole conversation.
That's the nigga Carlton. Had to go.
So yeah, that was my adult awakening. Is that once we got to be adults, this shit sucks.
Mm-hmm.
Like I just knew being an adult was going to be the solution to all my problems. I knew for the rest of my life I could eat ice cream at 2 a.m, not realizing at the moment I turned 18, I was going to be lactose intolerant. Fuck you, adulthood. Like ate ice cream my whole life to be an adult, and now I can't eat this shit without problems.
Ryan.
I'm screaming.
Not ice cream.
Ice cream became my enemy. There was a point in time where I had ate some shrimp from somewhere, and it made me have like my lips was itching, like I was having an allergic reaction to the shrimp. And I cried like, no, Lord, don't wait till in my 30s to take shrimp from me. I've been eating these sea roaches this long. You're not gonna do this.
Yeah.
You're not gonna do this to me, Jesus.
Not the sea roaches.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Sea roaches and strawberries for real. Like don't do it.
I waited until like definitely late 30s to develop social anxiety. It's like balancing two worlds is a tough thing now.
No, it's not even that. I honestly feel like a lot of people develop social anxiety in their late 30s because all of that false bravado of the 20s is now worn off. And you are looking at shit for what it is. And so now you know you not the nigga you thought you was. And now you're anxious. Yeah, man. Now
I'll be naked out here, man. They like, what you bring to the table? This dick? Like at this point, like, what you want? And again, that sounds.
I got my whole forehead in my hand.
Help.
What?
Is that what you're bringing to the table? Just dick? That's it?
No, that's not all I'm bringing to the table, but that's the only answer that I'm going to give.
Okay, I can respect that. I don't even answer it, but okay. Thank you, Johnny. No lactose for me. Unless there's tacos involved, and then fuck the rules. Just stay away.
I mean, quite honestly, like you mentioned adulthood, and I think it's a beautiful thing. Like if somebody's carrying that daggone hood the way they supposed to, I think it's a beautiful thing. And I guess being I guess the man that I am, I'd rather enjoy in my alert state taking a peek over and watching, my partner, like you said, enjoy like her younger years where she feels safe and she can look around and not and feel protected and things of that nature.
Yeah.
Like I love that. You know what I mean? Because like part of me that finds this person attractive is their sense of responsibility.
So
the fact
real
Mm-hmm.
quickly, because that was the perfect setup. I did not mean to cut you off.
Nah, you fine.
But the sense of responsibility in this last current event is what has me floored.
Mm-mm.
The Tupac murder trial is finally happening.
Oh, Jesus.
And
Oh
we have
boy.
lots of witnesses. But do you want to know what Keefe lawyers, what the defense lawyers basically are saying is the defense of this story? Sorry.
What?
Y'all remember when the Joker movie came out?
Mm-hmm.
And everybody was like, oh my God, that's not how that happened. And they was like, yeah, it's something called the unreliable narrative. You never know how crazy a person is while they're telling the story. So you never know exactly which story you're going to get. That is Keefe defense. His defense lawyers are really out here in the California of these United States saying this nigga is a great storyteller and y'all shouldn't believe shit he say ever because he's just got delusions of grandeur.
So
Very
he's
American.
So long story short, he suffers from dementia.
No.
Delusions of
Dementia has
grandeur.
never been mentioned. That's why I wanted to get this current event in before we went off air. Dementia is not currently being mentioned as any of the medical issues that could be involved in this nigga's legendary storytelling. His defense heard the myriad of different stories that he's told over this last, 36 years now?
Mm-hmm.
Motherfuckers are grandparents now. They were born when he died.
Said, ain't no way none of this shit is true. So while y'all over there on the prosecution trying to prove this story, his defense, this nigga, Keefe D, it's just a wonderful storyteller.
What do we do with this information now?
He made up some shit to make himself seem more important in the situation since the situation continued to be brought to him.
Yeah, I was there, nigga. What?
I mean, basically, that's what's happening, though.
I could only imagine.
Keefe D's story it has always only ever been as the uncle to the nigga who got stomped out in the video in Vegas after the fight. Y'all remember the video?
Mm-hmm.
He was in the car when his nephew shot Tupac. That's always been the story. The story was they were supposed to be paid $1 million through an alternative nigga from Puffy to kill Tupac. And because his nephew happened to be the nigga who got stomped out that day because they was in Vegas to kill Tupac, he handed his nephew the gun like, get him. Bow, 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 bow.
Can we finally just accept? And
Suge Knight ain't even on the stand yet.
Suge Knight ain't even been on the stand
got
yet.
shot that day.
He been in jail? Like he was just like I just was here. He's been saying it all along. But can we finally
tell these niggas nothing this way?
I think that we need to exhale now before it's too late. Panic strikes. We have to address the fact that you know what I'm about to say, Lovey. We have to rest and come to an understanding or an acceptance rather that the 90s
The time.
The 90s was it real? We gotta talk about it. Can we talk about it real quick?
I lived through it.
Nah.
I
So
lived
did I.
all the way through
So
it.
did-
From the
so
first
did I,
four to
allegedly.
the last 9. I lived.
But I remember the celebration that I had in 1999, ironically, was the introduction of a beautiful trilogy. Was it a trilogy? I think it was a trilogy called The Matrix.
Oh my God.
And that was our celebration.
That lady still ain't made her money.
Amen. And that was That was our goodbye to the 90s.
Mm.
And now I'm curious.
Might be. That might be.
Hey, man, we might as well be. Hey, you ain't here. Some shit is one thing. Is one thing to hear about the boom, but it's one thing to feel it. Can we finally rest assured that the 90s, although we lived through it, it wasn't real.
So can we just say this?
It wasn't real. There was a real 90s that happened, but we were not involved in that. Be honest, come on.
The gaslighting of what you just said, though, because the amount of trauma that the 90s has caused in my life
journey. Let's talk about it. Yeah,
because you saying some real shit, and I get where you're coming from, because it seems like it's not real, because Me Too and COVID and all this shit has happened since then. But you got to remember, so it started with 9/11, and then the Me Too thing, and then COVID, and now we here. But the 90s did happen, and you will not take that from me. I had some of my best fashions. I had a pair of fucking boots that had ecru. And I hate even using the word, but I specifically liked them because the color on the box was ecru. ECRU is a specific beige.
Oh,
lace.
I remember the Echo Johns.
Look, no, they was oh God, what's the name of that?
And again, I'm not taking away. I'm not taking away from the idea that we didn't live through the 90s, because clearly we did. We got shit to talk about from the 90s.
Oh my God.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like,
the 90s is what made this world. The 90s is what causes every fucking argument between me and my son, because he doesn't understand the world where I would choose to bear. He doesn't understand that hey, yo, bitch was a flirting line in the 90s.
But let's assume and let's hope that he doesn't hear this episode. And let's be transparent for a moment.
He's gonna hear this episode, and then he gonna go.
Can we honestly admit
and understand how bitches was like, I need to drive your stick.
Can we honestly admit that we understand how the 90s? Like, I'm looking back at the 90s, and I can attest. I lived through them. I journeyed through them, and a lot of my behaviors were rooted in the 90s. I'm not going to lie about that.
To this day, I can put.
But some of the shit that I did in the 90s, oh my God! If I did today,
the amount of skills you learned, and he is a barber because of the 90s. Don't let him tell you no different. I can put a French roll on somebody's head right now with some.
I'm a barber because of the 90s. Don't get it twisted.
We are hairdressers because of the 90s. He's a barber because of the 90s. We are stylists because of the 90s.
I'm part of my musicianship is because of the 90s. My abilities to be vocal is because of the 90s. I'm not taking away from the fact you got to hear me, because again, I get why you call it gaslighting, and I'm not arguing it.
Yeah.
But I am faced in a very, very harsh reality. Cognitive dissonance has set forth, and we got to talk about it at some point in time, because
is now the point in time.
I don't think we have time.
No, we got all the time in the world. We paid these niggas. We just
the bill's paid. Amen. We here now. I am thoroughly. I don't know
you
how
don't
to call.
Hear what I have to say next. You don't want to hear what I have to say.
No, because here's my reality. Here's my reality, and I'm old enough, and I'm going nope, and I'm not even going to. What I'm about to say has nothing to do with man or woman, because
out here like somebody uncle talking.
Because damn it, I got some sage for you, because you said it. I have to be honest. I don't turn off R. Kelly if he comes on my radio at home.
Me neither.
I don't. And now listen. Now we gotta stop here. Now, do I go looking for him? I don't go looking for him, and I don't necessarily put my radio station on to
No, I do my
R.
due
Kelly.
diligence. I remix this nigga's songs every time they come
I
on.
promise you,
But
I will put on something so far. I will put on the Doobie Brothers, but somehow it makes its way right into my algorithm, and I can't help but step to the left and step to the right. I can't help it. I can't help but be bare chested and greasy talking about would you mind? I know. Now you goddamn it. You hold on a second. No, wait a minute.
No, he trying to put me down because he know I'm finna say something real crazy.
Yeah, I know you are.
Go ahead.
There you go. No. Let's put me up. Put me up. There we go. I need to be up. There you go. Hey, then my finger ain't what it used to be. It's callous. Now I understand that I'm a man here, and I don't have a rock to throw in this pond or a stone to throw in the lake or nothing like that. But I feel like when you take away from what I've known to be true all these years, and I wasn't thinking about R. Kelly and these little girls. I knew, but I wasn't thinking about it. You know what I mean? So that wasn't my cross to carry. I don't know what to do. So America, I need your help. Help me understand what happened in the 90s so that I can come to some sort of peace. Kristen, I am here. I will kindly mute my phone. The 90s, I accept them, and I saw what happened, and we were there. You were there before I was in a more conscious state.
We got to the 90s at the same fucking time, nigga. It started the same day. First of all, you're not gonna call me old to start this conversation because you're really gonna piss me off. Secondly, don't piss me off. No, bring your ass back up here, sir. You don't get to run away that fast. No, sir. Listen, I said before, and I will say again, to your idea that you witnessed the 90s, but were not a part of it.
No, I was a part of it.
Right. No, but to your idea, because that's kind of what you were alluding to. Like, I was there, I seen it all, but I didn't really give a fuck what it was while it was happening. Okay. I say that the reason why you feel like the 90s necessarily isn't real is because you walked all through the 10 years of them with the male privilege that every other nigga had that created the ditties. Thank you for not being a ditty now. Because there's still a lot of niggas, even on a broke level, doing ditty shit because they walked through the 90s with the same amount of male privilege that you had. However,
I'm not going to argue it. Can you, in your way, define, I'm going to call it ditty privilege? What?
It's R. Kelly privilege.
Somebody type it. What's the ditty privilege? We got it. What is the privilege that you were talking about? What is that? What is it? What was the privilege? I won't refute it because I think that I had a little bit of privilege in the 90s, and I'm not going to argue that. But I'm curious as to what that was.
The ditty privilege, in my mind, because I am well read, comes from the fact that women were just finding out how to be independent. Because it was 1989 when we finally got the right to sign business loans and house loans and be independent for real without the signatures of our husband. So we walked into the 90s with this new power. Ditty privilege is the availability of men to be able to take advantage of a lot of ignorant women to their power. The 90s, in my mind, signifies the identification of the Black 70s. It's when we found out about our sexual drive. It's when we found out that everybody was eating coochie and sucking dick, but nobody was talking about it. It's when we found out that we could actually have businesses and do things of our own accord and pay taxes and be legal the same way. We were the children of the buppies, the black yuppies who gave a little bigger experience. Everybody always wants to say, well, what does black freedom look like? Black freedom looks like Jaden and Willow Smith. It looks like the freedom of expression to be whoever and however you choose, but also having black parents and knowing you have to toe a specific line when it comes to what is going on in our household. Black freedom looks like Kanye West being able to take over TMZ to be able to say that slavery is a choice, not was, but is. And then going further and taking over the White House Oval Office and holding office, holding court as the king that he was in that moment. That's what black freedom looks like. We celebrated it when it was Eazy-E with his booty. You know what? Never mind. God rest the dead. I'm not going to do it to him today.
I ain't got enough incense today.
But Diddy privilege is the privilege that men had over women who didn't know their strength and power, who were taught to be silent.
So would you associate that, let's say we're in the entertainment industry, right?
We are.
Would you associate that with En Vogue?
Nope. You know who I associate it with and why I feel like this person is the fraud?
Interesting.
Lauryn Hill.
We gonna at one point we not gonna do it. You gonna go on air because I love me some Lauryn Hill.
I love me some Lauryn Hill too.
I would not be on this show while you offend my friend.
It's not offensive if it's true. And she's not your friend, so who tells the truth?
She is my friend.
You are a fan of her music.
No, she's my friend.
You know her personally.
Yes.
And you ain't never once helped her be on time for nothing. What kind of friend are you?
I'm not in control or responsible for her.
No, as a friend you are.
Look, a friend, just because she a friend don't mean she hired me for nothing.
Oh my God.
End of the day, you are still responsible for your own metric and measurements.
So then your metric isn't love, it's money. If she has to hire you for you to be a good enough friend to help her be on time.
Well, again, I'm not. So here's where I'm going to low key agree, but kind of have a little bit of a disagreement here. So no, I actually have gotten like quite a few tickets. Like, again, her band is centralized from Philadelphia.
That's not what I'm asking you. You said she is your friend.
I was reading. So throughout the course of time, for like her time being ingratiated with Philly musicians, I've got a chance to meet her, share a lot of thoughts, share a lot of conversations, and much beyond music. And while I don't agree with her being late for her concerts, I'm not going to blame her as to what she feels is important to her before she gets on stage. And I think that that's something worth noting. And again, it whether you call it an excuse or not, I can't argue what she feels. She's saying that, hey, if my energy is off, then I already got enough stuff I got to worry about. If my energy is off, then...
The craziest part of this conversation is people will often think that I'm not a fan of hers. While we are having this conversation right now, I am struggling to hear your words because I hear her voice loud and clear. Now the joy of my world. Like, I've studied this woman's one album. Like I've studied it.
Sure. So
The
and
90s
here's
is
go ahead.
in the sense that she's now going into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I'll agree with you there.
So and it's almost like, all right, let's say you have music, right? And you realistically do have music. We all have music, throughout our time and our history, floating through the old channels that we had. We had reverb, we had all these other things. But let's
Mhm.
say back when you first made your song, it wasn't relevant, but it's just one song. But it just so happens to resurface and becomes hella relevant. And
TikTok
you
has
like,
doing that.
right, and you sitting here like, well, I mean, I'm not even in that scene no more. I'm a mother now. I'm a career woman. But they like, oh, we don't give a fuck. Just rock this song.
Mhm.
And this song becomes like legendary and iconic. Can you help that? No, you can't help that. Now, in that time, that was a truth to you. But your life has, like you said, what was a truth then that is now different now?
Nothing, because
Yeah,
music,
no, you
music
can't say that.
recording studios have not changed. Every artist, including the one that she built her whole career on, went through some shit and then got in the booth and made great music after that. Like, where the fuck is the rest of your music, bitch? First of all,
So to that, I think that a lot of times, and a lot of artists have been guilty of that, and thinking about it. But we're only talking about Lauryn Hill. That conversation was very much before its time. Even the album when she did the uncut one, it was much before its time, and she really broke it down.
and it was, and I agree. However, I would love to have, as a
Jamiroquai was another one.
that's who my car is named after, y'all. Y'all don't even know about Jamiroquai. He was out here on some different type
Jamiroquai,
shit.
he was it's one of those things where he didn't need another album
But
when the
see,
first
people like
one was self-explanatory,
no, but people like Lauren and Jamiroquai, I'd love to see the evolution. Like I remember when I
Sure.
first heard Kendrick, and I remember because it was ADHD. Do y'all know that song? When he's talking to the girl and she's like,
Hmm.
"Oh,
Mhm.
ADHD because we crack babies." Um, and I was like, yeah, I can't wait to see where he's going. Like, I can't wait to see the evolution of his knowledge because he's talking some real shit right now at 19.
Hmm.
At 20, I think it was 2 by the time that album came out for her. I would have loved to hear her perspective now in her 30s and then in her 40s. And you know what I'm saying? Like,
Hmm.
I feel like as a fan, I'm more angry about it because I missed out on everything of who she is because she's another one that has the
Hmm.
ability to put herself in the music like a Mary J. Blige.
Mhm.
And,
Okay. Okay.
so because of that, and because I respect musicians because I'm a musician, I'm
Hmm.
never going to step up to the plate of Hall of Fame with just one
Well,
I've put out enough music technically now to have an album. If any of that
so
takes
let's
off,
be
whatever.
honest. So let's be honest about that first album. That Miseducation it wasn't that dope when it first came out among the masses.
It was dope for me.
Exactly.
But
We
see, this is
we
why
understood.
I feel so strongly about it though.
Hmm.
Because it was dope for me. And I
Yeah.
really did want to see where she went. I love the fact that she started acting. I
So
love, it's almost like the same trajectory that people say
Mhm.
that Beyonce stole from Aaliyah was also stole. Like she was the collateral damage in that exchange of talent. Because what happened?
So let me ask you this. When it comes down to, I guess, the sheer sense of artistry, when you're expressing disappointment, am I to assume that it's not the artist that you're disappointed in, it's the expectation that you had of them?
Not always. In this
In
particular
this case.
in this particular case, it is a combination of both. I can't say it's all
Okay.
one or the other, but I will say that based on who she carried herself as, she didn't follow through with shit.
We had expectations.
Well, I mean,
Yeah,
she did follow through.
yeah,
But
she
again, when
followed
you're
the life end of her life, which is great for her. She wanted to be a Marley, so she went and made some Marley children. Good for you, bitch. But you stepped up to the plate with a very sorry, William, but you stepped up to the plate with some very grandiose ideas for Black women and what you wanted to see in your community, and then you walked away from it. And now you don't even have enough respect for that very same community to be on time when you say you're going to show up somewhere.
so, and I think that that's when it becomes kind of difficult when where you've journeyed into a place where it's like, okay, there's a lot of passion, there's a lot of fueled anger, and there's a lot of momentum going to a place. And once I guess the adrenaline settled, you go to your baseline, in my opinion. And just like when you have what's the young lady's name, the milkshake lady?
Khalees.
Khalees.
Yeah,
We thought that Khalees's trajectory was going to be going
never.
on some weird shit, but little did we know her trajectory went far to the opposite extreme.
Mhm.
And it's not to say, oh, we had expectation on her musically because we heard how she sounded, and she was just
Because I
what she
hated her
was.
so much right
But
then.
at the
I
end of the day,
absolutely
she was no different. Like we're talking about like the end of the 90s going into that superficial era of 2000, which I really want to get into. Um we're at that area now where it's like, okay, Lauren did um listen, I love me some
And
don't you talk bad about
skincare.
Khalees. Don't you talk bad about Khalees. Her
I
in that
ain't say-
waterfall, I
And
followed her after that
skincare.
waterfall. Whew, did I? But
Well, I mean, I hear what you're
But when
saying.
you're looking at the expectation of like, I agree with you. She put a culture movement that left y'all, with a huge palette to be fulfilled.
So can I say to you, as a '90s child and just a music fan,
Sure.
Khalees is the wrong example. If I have to put the trajectory of one up against another, um, Lauren is Foxy, and
I
she
mean,
only
Foxy went deaf.
no, she didn't go deaf while she was still relevant as an artist though. But in the sense of using the platform of Nas, who was the biggest
Okay.
hip hop artist at the time, because that's what Khalees did, right? So in using the platform of the Fugees, with Wyclef being the biggest producer happening at that time,
Mhm.
she did one album and dropped off. And I just don't think she deserves the accolades that are given her based on the sob story as to why they're given. You see what I'm saying? Like, I think it was Christina that says that people deserve to live life like Rihanna, for example. But Rihanna has a 17 album catalog. So
Facts.
if Rihanna took some time off and she's back in the studio, thank you, Rihanna. We love you.
Well, I mean, go
um,
ahead, go ahead.
but yeah, like if and in fact after 17 albums from the time she was 16 years old, Rihanna says, I need a break, I'm gonna go live life, that's respectable. And if they were to put her up for the Hall of Fame, which she has not been inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, but Lauryn Hill has. And
I
that's my
mean,
issue. My issue is not with
so
Lauryn Hill herself. My issue is the fact that she's being inducted into the Hall of Fame.
so when you're dealing even with a Rihanna's still active. When you look under the BMI, um, she's still an active artist.
And can nobody bum beat bum beat bum like Rihanna.
And
I don't give a fuck what nobody say.
Right.
so whether or not, and here's where it becomes kind of like it gets a little interesting. And I do agree with you. Like, all right, Lauren,
It doesn't.
you're a musician, you're an artist, you got to have something to talk about through this journey. And that becomes like, my own desire to hear what she's been going through. At the same point, if I heard some music that wasn't satisfying to my palate, would I really care about what she's going through? The answer is honestly no.
So
It's
you
not the
feel like
case.
because as an artist, she has the opportunity to turn her fans off, that she should not continue making music is wild.
Well, I know that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that's a parallel of considerations to take in.
It is, but the reality of it is
It's going to
you
be
feel
kind of
like
crazy.
if you feel like you climaxed on your first try, would you go back on a second date with that bitch? No.
Well, it'll be kind of challenging to promote a feminist movement and then be like, "Hey, y'all, I was just going through something."
Johnny Soda and Wyclef, which is why I don't understand why he's not been nominated for the Hall of Fame, but Lauryn Hill has.
Because they're still active.
But even with being active, there are people who are still and this is my problem with it. There are people, this is what everybody else is saying, I feel as well. There are
Mhm.
people from the same era who gained their fame from the same era.
Mhm.
And then they've done more with their talents to deserve the spot that she was given this past year
Sure.
in the Hall of Fame. And I think that's where I'm at with it. Like there are artists that I feel like hip hop artists, if we're talking about it specifically, there are hip hop artists that deserve to be in the Hall of Fame well before Lauryn Hill. Lauryn Hill got inducted before Wu-Tang.
Mhm.
You see what I'm saying? Like there are hip hop artists that should have been inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame well before Lauryn Hill, especially because she's not coming with the Fugees. And I know Pras got his little whatever. And like you said, Wyclef is still active, but Wyclef is not as much of a known name. If you ask a 19-year-old right now who the fuck is Wyclef, they gonna look at you
I
like
don't know.
that nigga from the Black Eyed
And
Peas is what they gonna say.
is that what I am?
See
But
what I'm saying? Like they're not
but
gonna
no,
know.
and that's part of to
They're gonna
your
say
to
locked up. They won't let me out. They don't know. They don't know.
and that's part of what kind of like what the point is what we're both kind of alluding to. When you have, just because you see the artist, like you can see an artist touring all day and they'll be touring on their collection albums.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? They're not making any more albums and a certain amount of
She
time
is
has
touring
passed.
on one album. It's
Right.
like
And after a certain amount of time, once you're inactive for a certain amount of time, that makes you eligible. And now whether or not that was her purpose and that was her intention, I likely believe not. But what I do know is that if she decides to come out with a new album, it's going to be very, very difficult for her to sell that album. That's all I'm saying.
It is what it is. Just because of the way things have changed, I do feel like
Right.
we're at this point in music that I talk about all the time when we talk about the GOATs in basketball. Like we're at this point in music where we're going to have to speak differently about the artists and who's the greatest of all time for streaming versus album sales of
Right.
back in the day. It's a very different world. So I get that. However, to have enough name recognition to go into the Hall of Fame without having an album for over 30 years means you
That's
have
part of
enough name recognition to make a TikTok song and go
But that
forward.
again, part of that is that part of what you just alluded to is the requisite. So slow down. So Ziggy made a song with her called Slow Down. That was
Mhm,
one of Lauren's songs.
mhm. And
If
it
y'all don't remember, she did an
got
unplugged with that song, but she
Mhm.
can't do it anymore because she's at a she's like now considered an antique. And once you're considered an antique, you can't do anything new to the antique. Otherwise, it takes away from the preservation of what makes them an antique.
And I agree with all of that.
Do we like it?
I
No.
disagree that she should have been inducted into the Hall of Fame. That's my only disagreement when it comes to Lauryn
Hmm.
Hill. I feel like
Now,
her career
hmm
doesn't live up to the status of public opinion.
now what I do believe is, and I see that that's part of what she's doing is going into, like, I guess, a more creativity aspect and creating a platform for other artists to do what they're supposed to do, and other DJs and other musicians and things of that nature. That's a lane for her at this point,
But she
because at the end of the day, she's a whole vibe at the end of the
but
day.
she's always been selfish. That's what the being late.
Hell yeah.
And so, with that being stated, I just don't necessarily. I love her artistry. I
Mhm.
don't respect her business, and I don't respect
Yeah.
the amount of people that feed. She is the epitome of what I also give to Eminem with them. You know what I'm saying? She's the epitome of just standing on name alone. You're a Dyson vacuum cleaner. Niggas is gonna pay $300 more just because it say Dyson. You see what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Like, no, I don't respect that, because there are so many more artists from that time that would have done more. Exactly, Johnny. Like, you got people like Adina Howard, who was also a one album wonder, but Yo-Yo, another one album wonder, but they go forward and they try to make the lives of the new artists better.
Right.
I
And
don't see that from her, nor do I see any. Like I said, in my mind, there's nothing that she's done that's Hall of Fame worthy. I can't say the same about LeBron. As much as I hate that he's in the GOAT conversation, I do have to give him his props for his actual statistics that he's put up.
so, can I have a question for you, and
Mhm.
it's not to disagree, but you did state that Lauryn Hill started a huge movement and kind of left a very large population of women hanging.
Ah, she started a thought process. I wouldn't say a movement. She wasn't there long enough to start a movement.
Interesting. I mean, and again, I look at certain things, just in the totality, and, like, I don't think that it takes 1,000 punches to knock someone out if you got a good one hitter quitter.
It just take one.
Right, and she had that one hitter quit, and is
But
it to
y'all gotta
say
know me enough by now
is
to know that I'm one to point out where
yeah,
the story is flawed.
and
I
that
think the flaws in the story is what got us here as a
mhm.
community. Nobody wants to point out the plot holes. Everybody wants to just go along with what's being said. Lauryn Hill is a great artist. Does she deserve the acclaim? No. Overrated. Same with Denzel. Same with Kerry Washington. All the Washingtons they got a thing with their lip and
Wow.
they can't act. I'm sorry, they can't, like, the second 300, 600.
God.
Did that
The
nigga
second
sound like
300?
did he sound like he was from Rome, or did he sound like he was
Oh, you talking
Brooklyn?
about Gladiator?
Yeah, you knew what I meant.
Oh no, like
Did
he
he
gonna take
sound
that
like he was from Rome, or did he sound like he was from Brooklyn? That's all I
straight
want
out
to
of
know.
Brooklyn. It's straight out of Brooklyn.
And people get mad at me for saying he can't act.
So it's not the fact that he can't act. It's just like, again, at a certain point, everybody is expecting to see Denzel be Denzel, and that I think that at some point that's okay.
All right, so
There
y'all
there are
see me
some
finishing my
people
line.
I feel like at
no
this point in his career, him just showing up
like
was enough for everybody in general. So
there
Him
whatever it
just
was he
right.
showing up
did.
was always only ever enough. You know what? Don't start me.
You get your hands off me.
Nigga, you get your nigga hands
Get your
off. Listen,
fucking hands off me.
okay,
Yeah, but you get your goddamn hands off me.
I'm gonna breathe for a second. I'm gonna breathe for a second.
No,
You know
I
what
mean,
made me feel this way? Malcolm X is from motherfucking Boston. And never once in that movie did Malcolm X sound like he was from Boston. He sounded like he was from Brooklyn the whole goddamn time.
well, I mean, good
The
sergeant
nigga
of
in John
fame.
Q was from the Midwest. Where did he sound like he was from, William?
My son is not going to bury me. I've got that joint's funny. But I mean, I get
What's the
what you're
one he got the
saying.
Oscar for? What's the one he got the Oscar for?
Training Day, when he was in
Training
LA,
Day.
sounding like he was from Brooklyn. I get what you're saying, but at the end of the day, what did his impact to the culture was that allowed for so many
How?
other people. So if there was no Denzel,
There would
How would
still be
we?
a Spike
And
Lee. We would still be straight.
time out, time out. We didn't even. I'm not talking about the production of Spike Lee because I have my
Well,
own views, and Denzel actually
well,
attributes his artistry to his
To
wife.
Spike Lee.
So I'll
Correct.
give that one out. So what I will say, if there was no Denzel, and I know you don't necessarily like Black Panther, but Chadwick Boseman, regardless of Black Panther, was a hell of an actor.
I don't care. One has
And
nothing to do with the other, darling.
it does
You
have
turned me
one.
into a Disney villain. I started singing.
How
One has
does
nothing
one
to
not?
do
How
because
it?
I've watched Daniel Day-Lewis be the
Mm,
butcher from Gangs of New York for
time
a
out.
year.
Time out. Do you like Chadwick Boseman as an actor?
Yes.
Where did he get his ability and stardom to fame from as it pertains to his future and career?
He was inspired by the other black face that wasn't Wesley Snipes. Because it was only two of them the whole time. Y'all keep forgetting Cosby was on TV. Denzel and Wesley was in the movies. There was none of this.
That becomes
hit the brakes.
rather challenging when it
No,
whether you like the person or you don't like the person paves and
I
it doesn't
like
take
the person.
away
This is the same Laura Hill argument.
it doesn't
Denzel as
take
a person,
away
wait, hold on.
it does go ahead.
Hold on. Let's move past the pave the way stuff. Denzel Washington paid for the education and the acting career of Chadwick Boseman. There isn't even he just was inspired. He paid for it. Chadwick Boseman
Right.
didn't have the money. He sponsored a bunch of actors and actresses actually as an angel investor. So
That's a lot of what Lauryn Hill has done. That's a lot of what
yeah, I don't care. Lauryn Hill has not invested in anybody's career.
yes she has.
Secondly,
And that's where you
Denzel
don't want
invested
to
in
admit to
anybody's
that.
career. No. Name me one mainstream artist that became famous because of her investment in their career. Because we was talking about
Her.
Chadwick Boseman.
We're talking about
So,
her.
right,
We're
Lauryn
talking
Hill.
about her. H
Her, the
period E
okay,
period R
cool. Where?
period.
Show
We're
me.
talking
Send
about
me proof. Because whether we're inspired by them, and she made a very
are you
distinct
kidding?
difference. I don't know her situation. I never followed her. The most I know about her is she was the girl playing the guitar in the Usher Super Bowl. I don't know her. So I'm sorry that I'm not a fan of hers to have followed her.
It's not about being a fan. It's about recognizing, taking a moment to recognize that hey, people have actually done a lot more than maybe we give them credit for.
And
And
that's
by take
cool.
it
That's cool.
apparently not.
It is though, because the
It's not.
reality of it is
You cannot say
her
it's cool by
being
saying
Lauryn
I don't
Hill,
care.
representing and investing in her H.E.R. does not mean that Lauryn Hill has more than 1.333333333 albums to bring her
Wait,
ass to the Hall of Fame, and that's what we're
wait,
trying to
wait.
justify. That
No.
doesn't
Time
have
out.
one thing to do with the other.
Time out. Time out. The whole totality of what this person is as an artist, entertainer, and as a human is what gives them the notion to be validated and voted into whatever Hall of Fame. And all of those things have to be considered. Whether we like it or not, maybe she didn't have all that you may have expected in this one area, but she had a hell of a lot in another.
Cool.
While you were focused over here, this empire was being built, and I like just like
sounds very
you,
Targaryen to me, and either way,
I
it doesn't
even
change my opinion that she doesn't deserve to be in the Hall of Fame. That's all I'm
I
saying.
mean, right. I mean, and I don't think that your opinion of her being worthy of the Hall of Fame is really being challenged. Is the discrediting of what she's done to be validated to be there is
But
what
I didn't
I
discredit
think.
that.
You kind of did.
I'm going based off of what the criteria of getting inducted into the
Well, here's what I mean by discrediting.
musical catalog.
You said that she has not helped other artists, and you also said that Denzel has not helped other artists into their
I didn't say
journeys
that.
toward.
I said that Lauryn Hill hasn't helped. I did not say that.
And okay, okay, let's just focus on Lauryn Hill then. You said that, and I brought up one name, and then the conversation went from, okay, this is what you're asking for. It became a provocation, right? And then after the provocation, now we're back on track of just her albums. We're talking about the totality. So I understand that your expectation was for her to make many more albums. And in that time where we expected her to make more albums, she was building another journey and also changing the course of her direction, which has to be noted as well. Denzel Washington did the same thing.
Okay.
And his trajectory may have changed.
Her investment in her career is what towards the actual criteria of the Hall of Fame for rock and roll that brings her into it. Because the reality of it is, yes, she has a great legacy. I don't necessarily agree that her legacy is all that everybody has blown it up to be. And I use as an example Denzel Washington. I do not equate the two. I like way more of Denzel Washington's work, and I do feel like if he's more deserving of any accolades that should bestow upon him than say a Lauryn Hill. But again, if we have to compare the two, Lauryn Hill's star on the Walk of Fame should not be sitting next to Denzel Washington. However, as of right now, Lauryn Hill is sitting in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame with people like Etta James. And that bothers me. I appreciate everything she's done for the culture, everything she's done musically. I do. I just don't think that there has been enough to put her in there before.
Just musically.
Right, before even a Sade or, you know what I'm saying? Like there's so many more influences to hip hop or hip hop artists that could have taken that spot. But because she's had such a almost witchcraft hold over people's minds to say that she's so, look how much you've argued her.
Well, I would argue anybody. I actually was going to argue Jamiroquai as well. So when it comes down,
but
and
Jamiroquai, who is in the same situation as her and very talented, is not being nominated into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
He's not American.
I don't give a fuck how many Americans, non-American, the Beatles are not American. They're in there.
Well, they actually had a dual citizenship at that point.
But either way, what I'm saying to you is technically.
I mean, and again, this is my point.
She is that's the case.
This is part of my point. You ready? Part of my point is that there are metric criteria that is necessary for you to be in the Hall of Fame. If you are an active artist meaning you're still putting out music and putting out albums, there has to be a certain amount of time where you're not doing that. And if you're exceeding that amount of time, and unfortunately, Sade is still making music. Jill Scott still making music. All the people. Where'd you go?
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
Yeah.
Okay. But what I was saying was, unfortunately, she has stopped making music. And not only has she stopped making music, but she stopped making music as of the last time we heard her make any music, which was 30 years ago.
Yeah.
No.
That's part of the criteria.
It has to be at least 25 years.
I get it, but no.
Now, again, I understand your disappointment because a lot of us share us.
When it was Salt and Pepper, like
When's the last time Salt and Pepper made an album?
But they made several albums and contributed to several others.
So,
And so
so
where
you also agreed the fact that some people just require a one hitter quitter, whether
no,
we
not
like
just
it or
that.
I know we don't like it.
I don't like it, and I'm not
I
gonna
don't
act
like
like
to
I
be
do.
squared up. I don't like to be squared up, ready? Expecting to fight 12 rounds and a motherfucker cold cock me in the first round and I'm left figuring out what the fuck just happened. I don't want that to happen, but sometimes it just happens. And guess what? That might be the knockout of the year. It sucks because everybody expected to see a huge fight, but it didn't happen.
Yeah, but that whole speech is just makes me reminiscent of people who try to get me to accept participation trophies. Like
No.
I don't care about none of that shit. The reality of it is there are several hip hop artists who stayed relevant, who stayed in the game, who have more of a legacy than hers.
Then put their names on the ballot and let them be remembered. Not just you, but this is to the hip hop community. And they have to be able to meet criteria. And that's fair because standards have to exist. Otherwise, everybody's the exception.
Once they meet the criteria, then all of the songs that we from the 90s roll our eyes at now. We've talked recently about Color Me Bad because one of the dudes from there was a cult leader after the fact. You know what I'm saying? Like, I honestly feel as though when everything is said and done, we are now going to get blessed with the idea of how revolutionary a show the Brady Bunch was
Mm-hmm.
as Black people. Like, we're being introduced to this idea that because it was the only thing of its time, then it was the only good thing of its time. And that's not the case. Like, I want to, I guess, stand in the gap for people whose opinion doesn't match the societal norm, and then stay in that space to say,
Sure.
well, this isn't good enough to actually be here. Black, white, or indifferent. Like, I get that we want our representation in that Hall of Fame. But what are we actually promoting as representation is my issue. Putting Lauryn Hill in the Hall of Fame then leaves room for Eminem, then leaves room for King Von and Lil Durk, then leaves room for Young Dolph and anybody else who anybody says has one album that was great.
And again, you have to take into consideration that she ain't the only one in the Hall of Fame with not only one album, but dare I say, they only got one song.
But as a progenitor and protector of the hip hop as I know it, the hip hop as what it was supposed to be, I'm honestly going to have an issue with anybody who's not in there on a 10 toes down moment. It's about hip hop being put into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. If we are going to stand up, every time we've had a Black person, Denzel included, get an Oscar, we all applaud because it's so few and far between that they will give us one of their accolades. That is one of their accolades. And I don't want it to always be the lowest common denominator of who is popular that gets that accolade. That's the precedent that she's setting. And we know going further than that in hip hop means that there are a lot of people who's going to get that. Sexy Red about to be in the Hall of Fame in 30 years. Like, y'all playing for real. Because y'all are not gatekeeping the idea of what Black music is supposed to have done and what it's supposed to do.
So I think that it goes back to the idea of like, can a person change their philosophy and their viewpoints? And you asked an interesting question at the beginning of the show. What's one thing that we believe to be true, and then we grew up and later found out it wasn't? And we have to
Oh,
have
yeah.
the same understanding that some of these artists do the same thing. You know, some of these singers do the same thing, and they may have an idea to say, "Hey, I'm going to do this by any means necessary," until the one thing that they say, that's not quite up my avenue. And then, they'll, or they may go through with it. They may go through with it and then regret the fact that they did, and they got to go ahead and they chase another tail. You know what I mean? There's been so many instances where that's happened, where you have artists that go in one way and they come out a whole different genre, and then they find their mold and they find their footing, and they may never have to make another album because they're just doing covers for the rest of their life.
Yeah,
But
she made an album
at
and
the
two of
end
the
of
greatest songs was covers. So you know what?
at the end of it all, I think that we look at the total body of work, and whether we want to agree that, and like, I agree with you and I share your sentiment again, 100%, 10 toes down. I would have loved to have heard, and still would love to hear, and I've said it, I want to hear where your journey is coming from as it pertains to 2026. Who's Lauryn Hill now? Are we still misunderstood because we thought that we were miseducated? Or is there some sort of, I'm curious. But then I wonder, as a consumer, is it something that I truly want to hear? I'm serious. And if I'm being honest about it, I don't want to hear it.
I do. I'm that person. I literally just finished watching the first 2 seasons of the One Piece live action. And it took me a very long time to watch it because I'm a huge One Piece fan.
It's not that I don't want to hear it, but I think I'm a little bit, because again, we grew up in the 80s and 90s. Yes, because I grew up in the 80s and 90s, and I grew up under Delirious. We're going to use Eddie Murphy. I grew up under Delirious, Trading Places, fucking Coming to America. Did you see the second Coming to America?
It sucked.
Now, on the outside and seeing the comedic nature of what this new generation is, it was kind of damn funny. However, it's not the funny that makes me laugh.
Because it's
You know what I
only
mean?
funny to us when foreigners have to adjust to us, not when we have to adjust to them. And that's why it sucks. And
You see what I'm saying? And that's, I think, is the fear that it's like, okay, is if let's say Lauryn comes out with an album, is this going to be the Lauryn that I've been so accustomed to knowing?
As a person who never made it mainstream, as an artist who never made it mainstream, I can't respect that fear stops you.
Well, it doesn't stop her, but I'm just saying this is just me as a consumer.
Okay.
What I am saying is that, hey, again, her story maybe is being told in a different platform, while you're, like I said before, while you're upset at the fact that her music didn't boom to tell her story might have been told somewhere else.
I mean,
and considering that she may not have been able to blend the two.
The criteria of 1 1/3 album just doesn't do it for me. That's the whole of my argument. It just doesn't do it for me that she did enough to get there. And I'm sorry to have to be the one to say it, but that's just what it is.
Listen, y'all, we are Chestnut Checkers. This has been fun. No, all things considered, I am not cutting this off. This has been fun. I hope that we were able to kind of get off of what everybody else kind of does and really kind of share our thoughts. And I'm journeying to that on my position of what it looks like, and what we do, how we are, who we are, how we operate. Listen, seeing me out in front of my house, this was no coincidence that I was talking about the fact that we need to really redefine and kind of respace ourselves. So, you got to hear some of the things that happen in my world. Some of the people that come by and like, hey, were you okay? And da 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 da. I'm eager for that, to share my ideas based on my experiences in this world. It's not to say that I'm 100% right out here, but I'm 100% sure of my experience. and I'm never going to take away from Kristen's experience, and I'll never take away from Lovey's experience, and they won't take away from my experiences. And I think that that's what makes us unique. And I hope the journey. I enjoyed this day. It was y'all been here last week. This was a welcome back for me, and it's like we get thrown into the fire and we get to talk about our true views in a more comfortable setting in space and kind of tie our lives into it a little bit better. I enjoyed it.
I
I'm
did
gonna
too.
take this 100% hands down. Like I'm gonna rewatch this one a couple times.
We out here.
Yeah, man. So with that said, we are make sure you tune in every Wednesday. We're here 7:30 Eastern Standard Time. Hello, hello, how are you? Great evening. Be safe out here.
So absolutely.
7:30 Eastern Standard Time.
No,
And oh, sorry. You can like and subscribe. We're on Facebook, YouTube, we're on Twitch. We also share our clips on TikTok. We're going to figure out a way to get TikTok to live stream, or at least be live, make ourselves more notable on TikTok. But with that being said, make sure you like, subscribe, share. Johnny Belafonte, we always appreciate you coming on the show. Y'all, Queen's Gambit, are we going for it?
Sure. I don't have much to say tonight. I'm grateful to have the moment to just kind of relax into myself a bit while we, express ourselves with y'all here on Chestnut Checkers. I'm not anything that anybody ever says I'm supposed to be. So I'm not a girl's girl. I'm not a sycophant. I'm not a low-key version of the girl from Obsession. I'm not none of these things that everybody thinks that girls are supposed to be. And in being that, I am grateful to be just a woman who has values and a set of morals and rule systems that I think that are missing from a lot of people's lives and that we take for granted sometimes. In getting to know ourselves, the hardest lesson is that you can't expect yourself from anybody else. And so we oftentimes find ourselves in fights with versions of ourselves that we're not willing to release. We oftentimes find ourselves at odds with theories that we aren't willing to accept. And we oftentimes find ourselves at peace with needing protection from everybody we've surrounded ourselves with. And so my last thought for the evening is just make sure that you are surrounding yourselves with things and people who you don't have to protect yourself from. And then maybe your peace won't be so disturbed all the time. We love y'all. Happy
Chestnut Checkers. Tune in every Wednesday, 7:30, y'all. Are we doing theme music going out? Hey.
Good night, y'all.
I can hear it.
Nice.
Life ain't